Welcome, Shabbat! I want you to be loud. I want you to be proud. It's time to be brave. Are you ready?
Welcome guys to Brave Combat Federation 37 in association with Bulldog Fight Night right here in Stockholm, Sweden. We left Romania a few days ago straight into Combat Week right here in Stockholm, Sweden. The hospitality we've received here was incredible. Athletes, coaches, managers, everyone has welcomed us here for what will be 3 fight nights in 3 weeks right here in Sweden. Phil Campbell, I am extremely excited for this one.
Literally, when our feet touched down in Sweden, we rolled right into Fight Week. And as you say, we have 3 events, 3 weeks, unbelievable action. Very lucky to be here. Cannot wait to get started into Fight Night.
And here we have Brave Combat Federation 37, an absolute showcase of the vision of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa and President Mohammed the Hawk Shaheed, the association that they've had with IMF and what that meant in the long term, and this global ecosystem they were trying to build is really being shown on this fight card. We've got amateur champions, IMF gold medalists, we've got Anton Turca, Bianca, we've got Erman Smajic, and obviously Mohammed Mcvay, the kid everyone is talking about turning pro.
What this really illustrates to me is the depth of the IMF program, just how well it's working. It's not simply amateurs for the sake of amateurs, it's a breeding ground for the next generation of talent to come through onto a global stage like Brave Combat Federation.
And what it does as well is it gives these guys real experience on an international platform. So when they move into the pros, you can see the difference between guys that have been through that mill of being amateurs, competing on the global stage, and moving directly into the pro circuit like Brave Combat Federation.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, it's the perfect grassroots program for young amateurs who aspire to be burgeoning pros. And we're seeing the fruits of that tonight with guys like Smajic, Mcveigh, perhaps the most hotly anticipated professional debut that I can remember. You have Bianca Ant-Man again, a 2019 IMAF champion. You have Anton Turkali, again, a European IMAF champion. So you're really seeing the fruits of their labour tonight.
And mixed in with those guys moving into the pro circuit and building their careers, obviously is our main event. Henry Lintula, Glisman. For those of you guys that don't know these two guys, it is an incredible showcase of talent and ground to really behold in this one.
This is a real interesting fight for me. There's so many interesting different variables in this fight. You have Henry Lintula, who's 5-0, undefeated as a pro. Some say this is his hardest test. If you look at his record, 5-0, 5 finishes, 4 in the very first round, 4 by way of submission. This guy is a legitimate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. But then if you look on the opposite side of the card, you have Glisman, 6-1 as a professional, riding a 6-fight win streak. 5 finishes, 4 in the first round, 4 by submission. Again, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And both these gentlemen really seem to be at the apex of their career. Both 29 years old, fully embedded in their prime. BJJ black belts. This is going to be a great back and forth. For me, this fight is going to be won and lost in the scrambles. It's going to come down to who can be that little bit more clinical, who can be that little bit faster, who can have that little bit of technical nuance with those little microaggressions we see in the scramble. So for me, it's fascinating.
And also what happens a lot of the time is when two guys are this similar, they kind of cancel each other out and it moves to a place that they're not used to fighting. So will this become a stand-up battle when both of them just stop the takedowns and stop each other from getting the upper hand?
I think what you might see, yes, conversely we could see them standing and banging because their ground is so good, but what we could see is perhaps a really beautiful, intricate chess match on the ground. That's something I'm keeping an eye out for.
And then moving on to our co-main event, another guy who has had an absolute storied career in the amateur circuit, Smajic. This is a legitimate heavyweight. He's not just a 5'10", 5'11" guy who's fighting in heavyweight. He cuts to 120. He is a massive human being.
When this fight kicks off, you're going to see over 230 kilos in that cage. Smajic, 6'7", has, as you said, has to cut to 120 kilos. Yes, he may be 2-0 as a professional, but if you look at his amateur career, 19-3 as an amateur, a 2-time IMAF world champion, a European IMAF champion. This guy only began training in mixed martial arts at 30 years old. Speaking to him in fight week, I said, well, what was the motivation to get training? As deadpan as you like, he goes, well, I was fat. I needed to do something. So this took on a complete life of its own. He became the #1 amateur heavyweight in the world. Now, perfect, 2-0 as a professional. This guy has nasty leg kicks. Because he's so rangy, because he's so tall, he can keep guys at his kicking range where they can't hit him. In previous fights, we've seen this guy spin people 360 degrees of his leg kicks. But he has a willing dance partner in Fati Aktash. Again, another big guy, a little bit shorter at 6'1", so that's going to cause an interesting dynamic. Might he try and get down underneath that Ehrman? That'll be interesting. But Fati is 5-3 as a professional. All his wins have come by way of finish. A former Austrian kickboxing champion. So again, real interesting dynamic. Every fight starts standing, and I very much think this is where this fight is going to stay.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see who gets the upper hand on that stand-up battle.
Yeah.
But watching Ehrman, which I've done a few times during the World Championships, his ground game is pretty good too, and also all of that size, once he gets on top of you, it's very difficult to move him off you. So I think that's also where he could definitely have a bit of the upper hand, especially against the cage, pushing his weight on his opponent and trying to slow him down. And I think the gas tank is going to be a big decider in this one as well.
Well, traditionally, heavyweights do gas a little bit quicker. So it's all about who's really put the work in, because heavyweights sometimes rest on their laurels, rest on being a big guy. The Smajic, knowing as we do, training at All-Stars, they are not going to let him slack on his cardio. So if it goes into deep waters, kind of fancy Ehrman in this.
And then moving on, obviously Ehrman was #1 pound for pound when he was an amateur, and moving on to probably the most anticipated bout we've had, watching these guys in the build-up. Again, Glenn taking this fight on extremely short notice.
Yeah.
But these guys have been calling each other out for 3 years. This has been a fight in the making since 2017.
Yeah, this fight didn't happen by accident, but I want to ask you something. What happened the last time an Irishman ran his mouth a little bit and fought a Dagestani native?
It didn't finish so well for him.
So again, that adds another level, a different complexion for me, but all credit has to go to Glenn Mcveigh, travelling from Ireland on 2 days' notice to take this fight against the #1 ranked pound-for-pound amateur fighter in the world. Glenn Mcveigh comes out of a fantastic gym at FAI Ireland, training with guys like Matthew Elliott, Joe McColgan, Paul Hughes, some absolute savages under the tutelage of Liam Shannon and Pat McAllister. Really great club, really great guys, always show up to fight. But it's a Herculean task in front of him against Mcveigh. As an amateur, he was 23-0. Let that settle in. A 4-time IMAF gold medalist. Like I said to you earlier, this is perhaps the most hotly anticipated debut of a fighter. People are speaking more about Mcveigh than they are perhaps the main event, perhaps the co-main. This is what I would call sort of the people's main event. These two gentlemen have had to be separated for the entirety of the time that Glenn Mcveigh has been here. We've seen it at the weigh-ins. I had sheepishly had to try and get in between them because I didn't want any of that noise. A real interesting fight, but Glenn's brimming with confidence. He legitimately believes he can go in there and he can stop Mcveigh. Mcveigh obviously riding high on the confidence of a 23-fight unbeaten streak. This fight for me has got so many eyes on it. It's people's main event, bro.
And I think the thing that stands out for me is all the pressure on this one is on Mcveigh.
Yeah.
Glenn has nothing to lose. He's coming from a record that's nowhere near what Mcveigh's is. There's no pressure on him in terms of people expecting him to win this. He flew in yesterday. You know, he gets in day before the weigh-ins. Everything is ready to go. There's no pressure on him really, and he, as you say, he genuinely believes that he's going to win this thing. He was out on social media. He was hassling Brave. He was tagging, President Mohammed Shahid. We've been looking for an opponent for Mcveigh for weeks. And this kid goes onto social media and says, give me a shot. I've been trying to get him for 3 years. I couldn't get him in the amateurs. Now I want him as a pro. This is one of those matchups that I think people are obviously going to be riding very high on Mcveigh's win streak, but don't sleep on this kid, Glenn. He's definitely going to be one to watch out for and a very dangerous opponent.
Yeah, just because Glenn hasn't necessarily competed on that IMAF world stage does not mean that he is not a world-class mixed martial artist. I believe it's a 4-time Irish national amateur champion. This guy's got credentials. This guy's dangerous.
And I think, where do you think this fight's going to be won and lost? Do you think Mcveigh's going to go for the takedown? Do you think he's going to try and dominate it in that way? Or you think there's going to be some stand-up? Mcveigh is obviously a bigger guy. Yeah. Mcveigh's naturally a flyweight. The fight was taken at bantamweight, so there's a lot of extra size on Mcveigh as well. But the weight cut, very short notice for a weight cut. Do you think his cardio is going to be able to last? And do you think Mcveigh will keep it standing or go straight in for the takedown and take it to the ground?
Having watched Glenn Mcveigh as I've done in the amateurs, called his fights back home, he's a cardio machine. He can last the distance. That's not an issue whatsoever. And FAI, they pride themselves on their cardio, on their discipline to get in and get it done. But there's no secret that Mcveigh is a world-class wrestler. I believe he's a 5-time British national wrestling champion, a member of the Great British Wrestling Team. So why would you get into an ego back and forth? Play to your strengths. So I think it's no secret that at some stage he's going to look for the shot. It's a responsibility of Glenn Mcveigh to identify that, have something loaded, like an uppercut, like a knee, something just to let Mcveigh know that should the takedown come, there is a threat ready to meet him.
And the big thing on this is, should he get taken down, do you think that extra size is going to help him or hurt him? And do you think Mcveigh is going to be able to control him on the ground?
Well, let's not get it twisted. Glenn Mcveigh knows how to wrestle. His main training partner is Matthew Elliott. Matthew Elliott, 4-0 as an amateur, but so much more than that, he's a member of the Great British Wrestling Team too. So if you have that kind of an asset, if you have that kind of a knowledge to draw from and really work on your defensive wrestling, I think we could see a nice little tussle there in the clinch. I don't think it's going to be as easy for Mcveigh to get him down as some people are saying. I think he's really going to have to work for it, and Glenn's going to be the one to make him work for it.
And then adding to the entertainment that's been brought from that fight is the next opponent we'll talk about is Anton Turca. He has just been an absolute standout for me during fight week. The personality on this kid, he's full of smiles, full of laughs, always joking. You watch him, when we were doing media, he's always cracking jokes. He's just a really good kid to be around, and the media in Sweden are eating this kid up. People might not know him outside of Sweden, but keep your eye on him. He's a great personality to be watching.
Yeah, this guy has loved every second of fight week. He's been getting involved in the process, he's been having jokes, but don't let that relaxed demeanour fool you. You're talking about a 4-0 professional mixed martial artist. all wins by way of finish, a European IMAF gold medalist. This guy is as legit as they come with regards to prospects. You know, we did, his opponent wasn't here for the weigh-ins, so, you know, me and him kind of messed around, you know, and I was facing off against him, even though he was only joking. You could feel that intensity, you could feel that kind of strength, you could feel that willingness to get into it.
And also, one of the articles that we've spoken about, one of them has said he'll be bigger in Sweden than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This kid really believes that he is going to be that good. He believes that he's going to come away with the win in this one and absolutely dominate his opponent. And it is a weight division Brave is looking at building. So he's definitely a future prospect for us. But let's take a minute to look at his opponent, who literally flew in the day before the event, took the fight on 1 day's notice. The man from Greece. Talk us through his opponent.
Anathesis is as legit as they come with regards to Greek fighters. 3-1 as a pro, all wins by way of finish, all wins by way of KO. This is a very, very dangerous kickboxer. Has a devastating high kick in his arsenal, so Anton will need to be very careful of that. The X factor in this fight is the fact that he hasn't competed since 2016. So for me, the real question has to be asked, does ring rust exist in the cage, and will it be a factor on fight night?
I think the big question for me, which we've spoken about before, is obviously guys haven't been able to train in this period. So I think that takes a bit of the ring rust conversation out. I think that makes it a bit more of a level playing field for everyone that comes into this card. But 4 absolutely incredible fights to keep an eye on. Give me your picks for who you think is going to be the best fighter to watch and the best fight to watch.
Ooh, it's tricky. All eyes are going to be on Glenn Mcveigh and Mohamed Mokaev. So I'm not going to try and go for a sleeper fight or anything like that. That's legitimately going to be a great fight because there is Nido there. This isn't manufactured. As you say, Mcveigh has been calling him out for 3 years. But be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Fighters to watch, you have Bianca Ant-Man making her professional debut. 5-1 as an amateur, the 2019 IMAF gold medalist. If you look at her amateur pedigree, she's a submission specialist. A blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but also won the Worlds at white belt. She's taken on a veteran, some would say, in Vera Canon. A very, very tough fighter. Potentially, the X factor in this fight could be professional experience of Vera against the novice professional experience of Bianca. I think Vera might try and drag her into deeper waters because she's never been in a 3-round, 5-minute fight. So rounds are a little bit longer. There's the X factor of elbows and knees. Very, very interesting dynamic.
Well, there you have it, guys. An absolutely incredible card coming up. Stay tuned all the way through it. 8 incredible fights coming up. The ones to watch for me, Erman Smajic is definitely up there. Anton is the one I'm going to enjoy watching. But the fight everyone is talking about is Mohamed Mokaev versus Glenn Mcvay. Stay tuned and we'll catch you after the fight.
Tonight, Brave CF touches down for the first time on the Kingdom of Sweden in association with Bulldog Fight Night. Don't miss the most exciting fight night featuring incredible athletes from all around the world, live from Stockholm, Sweden. Brave CF 37 broadcast only event in association with Bulldog Fight Night.
A man's vision, determination, inspired a generation. It gave a new dream for the youth of his homeland. It created a groundbreaking revolution in sports. When a vision is strongest, nothing can stop its far-reaching impact. And the vision was 3 powerful letters: KHK. And today, his vision is far-reaching. The valor and pride of his homeland is far-reaching. Today, his vision is defining the future of a new generation. A generation of heroes and of gladiators. Today is the day of hope for the hopeless. The day KHK will inspire the souls to fight back, irrespective of what they are and who they are. Many will emerge as heroes. This will be a new era of true heroes and gladiators. When he stood in the front and led them, they called him the Prince of Gladiators and Heroes.
In 2016, a vision revolutionized mixed martial arts in the Middle East. It all started with the evolution of MMA in a small island in the Middle East. The magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain, a land of ancient glory and bravery, thriving under great leaders and visionaries. The country is now home to the largest MMA promotion in the region, Brave Combat Federation. And the kingdom became the first ever country outside of the United States that featured the IMF World Championships. His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa and his true warrior spirit envisioned the growth of MMA in the region. He believed in the glory of the sport of mixed martial arts and facilitated the best MMA facility in the land. Along with brave President the Hawk, Mohammed Shahid, in the shortest span of time we grew stronger. We grew bigger. This is the story of the fastest growing MMA promotion in the world. This is the story of Brave Combat Federation.
1 minute and counting. Countdown. T-minus 50 seconds. We pass the T-minus 50 second mark. The power transfer takes place. First stage, second stage, third stage. 40 seconds and counting. T-minus 37 seconds, and our count continues to go well. T-minus 30. 25 seconds and counting. 20 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 17 seconds and counting. 15, 14, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Lance Murdoch, Combat Sports MC. I'm your host here tonight in Stockholm, Sweden, as we return with the fastest growing MMA promotion in the world, Brave CF37, in conjunction with Bulldog Fight Nights. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to His Royal Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, founder of KHK Sports and Brave Combat Federation. He is the visionary behind making Brave a truly global MMA promotion. I would also like to say thank you to Mr. Mohammed Shahid, our president. He is helping to realize the vision of Sheikh Khalid. A big thank you to our sponsors, Afton Tablet, Green Hill, and Abu Dhabi Sports, as we empower MMA all over the globe. Ladies and gents, tonight our European invasion continues here in Stockholm, Sweden. To the millions watching around the world, this is Brave Combat Federation. Who's ready for action? In our first contest of the evening, allow me to introduce first of all to the blue corner, Ahuzi Kuami.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Brave Nation, welcome along to Brave Combat Federation 37 in partnership with Bulldog Fights. My name is Phil Campbell. I am joined by the voice of Swedish mixed martial arts, Mr. Sebastian Martinez. Sebastian, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Got to say, that nickname sounds better and better each time I hear it. And it could not be more appropriate, as Brave have finally debuted here in Sweden. The wait is finally over, and we've had a fantastic undercard so far with some very skilled amateurs. Now we have a pro portion of a card, and here we have Ahuzi Kuami making his way to the stage. And I almost thought there was a mistake first. I thought there was no way this guy is a welterweight.
He's huge,
He looked big fighting at middleweight, which he did in his last fight. And the fact that he has made the move now to 170 pounds, astounding.
Yeah, he's a big guy, 29 years old, 6'3", all of that welterweight frame, described by his manager Majdi Shamas as the new dynamic breed of mixed martial artists. As we've alluded to, making his pro debut, he's drawn comparisons to the likes of John Jones, so no pressure on Kuami at all, making his mixed martial arts debut.
And he's a guy with a lot of power.
And next, allow me to introduce his opponent to the red corner, Mohamed Zari.
Mohamed Zari making his way to the Brave Arena for his professional mixed martial arts debut. A wealth of striking knowledge. You're looking at a former Norwegian national kickboxing champion, a former Scandinavian Open kickboxing champion, transitioned to mixed martial arts 4 years ago. Prior to that, he also won gold in the prestigious Legacy International Boxing Cup. This is a man who, yes, he may be relatively green and wet behind the ears in mixed martial arts, but when it comes to the pure stand-up, he's a veteran.
Yeah, so interesting that both these guys have a striking background before having transitioned to MMA. I also like the little connotations here of Sweden versus Denmark, Sweden versus Norway rivalry. Classic here. And what's interesting as well is that, I mean, MMA is illegal in Norway still, which makes it very hard for Norwegian fighters to find a stage to compete on. So once again, just another reason that this Swedish Brave debut is so important.
Kick it off there, Lance.
Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of pro mixed martial arts in this welterweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, weighing in at 76.5 kilograms, making his pro debut, Ahuzi MJ Kwame! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Oslo, Norway, weighing in at 77.3 kilograms, also making his pro debut, Mohammed, the Kurdish gorilla, Zari! Deck Larkin is in charge of the action.
This is what you do. In the middle.
Our referee in the middle is the veteran Decky the Bandit Larkin, ready to kick things off in our opening bout. And as you say, both these men, strikers by nature, so first round submission?
Oh, absolutely. Would actually be interested in seeing the odds on something like that. And I think Kwame might be coming in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Last time I saw him, he competed in a middleweight amateur title bout, ended in a split decision that a lot of people felt was very controversial. I know he feels he won the fight.
Oh, crashing leg kicks, then a big overhand into the clinch. What a frenetic start. Another big overhand from the Kurdish gorilla.
Living up to the nickname with those heavy strikes.
If we have a Kurdish gorilla, then we have an Empire State Building in the 6'3" Kwame. And you can tell both these men are fantastic strikers. Just the way in which they're throwing their kicks, big hands.
Absolutely, just so much composure in their striking. You can tell they've definitely experienced. Oh, that was a slapping leg kick.
Oh, beautiful check there. Counter front side check. In the clinch. Remember, this is professional mixed martial arts, so knees and elbows are legal.
And sure, they are composed, they are controlled, but they are throwing a lot into their strikes.
Oh, these are heat seekers, man.
Yeah, they're fighting like there's about 1 round left, but it's just the first one. Oh, that was a hard right hand landed from Zari.
Oh, big high crotch.
And
he takes the back. He has one hook in, switches to the body triangle. Very interesting grappling exchange going on here. Kwame being told to protect the neck. Oh, it's underneath the neck. The Kurdish gorilla's underneath the neck.
Can he get it? It's a little bit hard to see from this angle.
Can't quite see it. I think Kwame's doing the right thing. He's fighting the hands.
Okay, nice done.
Oh, beautifully. Turns into the Kurdish gorilla, Mohammed Zari.
Spins around, gets out of the situation. Now maybe let's see what he can do from top position.
Oh, heel hook attempt. Zari showing that he is not just a kickboxer with a varied submission arsenal. That's in the opening 2 minutes. He's attempted 2 submissions, trying to get in on that heel.
I was actually told by someone just before this fight started, don't sleep on Zari's grappling.
You can see good work by Kwame. Positions himself up, but again, that's a serious squeeze on the ankle. And there's the top!
That is it, and it was the first round submission.
First round submission. You have Mystic Mac. Call me Foresight Philly. This was beautiful.
After this, you gotta tell me this week's lottery numbers.
That was beautiful. They exchanged on the feet for a little bit.
And the Kurdish gorilla proves to be the king of the jungle in this fight.
You can
what a
see,
performance.
You can see just how much it means to him. Yes! As I say, exchanged on the feet. Yes! Zari decided he wanted to take it to the ground, was very close with the rear naked choke, transitioned into the heel hook with somebody of lesser foresight. They probably would have taken quite a few punches to the head and given up on it. But he readjusted, he got it, and he popped it. Beautiful submission.
He's a force to be reckoned with, because with his striking background, we just saw, wow, I'm impressed.
I don't even think we scratched the surface with this young man. Right, for the first time tonight as part of the Brave Combat Federation card, let's send it up to Lance for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our first contest, our referee stopped the action after 2 minutes and 12 seconds of the very first round. And the winner, by way of heel hook, in the red corner, Mohammed, the Kurdish gorilla, Zari!
and his happiness cannot be overstated enough. I mean, smiling ear to ear, and I gotta say that it is a very impressive beard, rivaling yourselves. Your beard also, Phil.
I must admit, I did say him before the fight, gave him a fist bump and said beard power. I don't know how much that positive vibes I was putting out there gave the man, but he did a great job. Just soaking up the plaudits. Big smile on his face. That's a happy man. 1-0 as a professional. This man is potentially a force to be reckoned with in Brave Combat Federation. There we see the replay. A frenetic exchange to start.
Yeah, they were throwing everything they had into those shots. I mean, the way they were fighting, it definitely did not have the makings of a long night.
Big high crotch. Big high crotch single. Rolls to take the back. And here we see commitment to the leg lock. Gets that heel and just pops it. The tension being put on the knee here.
Yeah.
Insurmountable.
Talk about rounding out your game. I mean, really just becoming just a well-rounded mixed martial artist.
Up next, ladies and gents, allow me to introduce first of all to the blue corner, Syed Masood.
We all heard it. It's the curse of Thunderstruck. Will it strike tonight? You're looking at Syed Masood, nicknamed the Peacemaker. 0-1 is a mixed martial arts professional, orthodox fighter, 31 years old. But again, not unlike our first fight, this man has a wealth of striking knowledge. A 4-time world kickboxing champion, a former WECO kickboxing champion, an Asia region kickboxing champion. And a nice little caveat to this fight is he's also a professional comedian. So a little bit of irony there that the comedian prefers the stand-up.
Exactly. I knew it was coming, but you still hit the mark fantastically. Yeah, I spoke to one of his teammates, Amir Malikpour, just now. Said that Derek's brother is also a kickboxing champion, so they definitely share some of that talent. Obviously, it must run in the family. He hasn't been doing grappling for super long, just a little bit over a year. But, I mean, we saw just now recently someone transitioning from striking to MMA, learning a little bit of grappling. He can go a long way.
And next, allow me to introduce his opponent into the red corner, Hamid Sadid.
Next up, we've got Hamid Sadid, a guy who I'm pretty sure has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder as well. He's had a couple losses, some controversial ones as well. And interestingly enough, one of those losses was to Amir Malikpour, who is cornering Derek now.
Oh, so there's a little bit of insight for you. Talk about a modern day sporting renaissance man. This guy used to compete professionally as a footballer, as a soccer player, represented the Afghan national team at a professional level, played Swedish league soccer, decided, do you know what, I'm going to give this fighting a go. Not only that, but he also studied to become a structural engineer. This is a man who needs to take a day off, sit on the couch, chill out for a while, but right now there will be no shortcuts taken. 31 years old, making his professional debut.
Yeah, maybe he can leave some talent for the rest of us. Is there anything he doesn't do?
Seriously strong leg kicking game. Really looking forward to this fight, Seb.
Absolutely, me too.
Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this lightweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, weighing in at 70.2 kilograms, with a pro record of 1 fight and 1 loss, Syed Masood, the Peacemaker, Dedeka! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, also fighting out of Sweden, weighing in at 69.9 kilograms, making his pro debut, Hamid Sadid! Our referee in charge of the action is Matthias Hoden.
Matthias Hoden in charge of the action here.
We see the tail of the tape, both men relatively similar in age and weight, a distinct height advantage for the Peacemaker.
And obviously for someone with striking in her background, a height and reach advantage goes a long way. And Sadid was supposed to actually make his pro debut in August of last year. Unfortunately, injuries came in the way of her, so just another thing just spurring him on here to this fight. And he's had some pretty good amateur wins as well. Basir Safdari and Tobias Bolin, 2 names that stand out.
You see that wide stance by the kickboxer. Almost like he knows something we don't, like he anticipates his opponent is going to shoot. Oh, switching it up with the kicks. The Peacemaker ready for war here tonight.
And Sadid kind of reacting really now, feeling out his opponent, not throwing a whole lot himself, but putting the pressure on him still.
Nice lateral movement from Syed there. But you can tell, even just by the way he moves, by the way he holds himself, that he's a veteran of the kickboxing game. I asked him, how many kickboxing fights have you had? And he said, too many to remember. There's that shot we were talking about from Sadid. Has he got the trip? Beautifully done.
Grab the fence.
But nice work from Sadid to get the post up on the arm. He goes from knee to arm to up again. Nice work. Splits the base. Disengages. Very smart work there from Syed.
Very nice work, especially for someone who's only been training grappling for about a year. Oh, nice overhand there from Sadid.
Oh, and a massive kick to the body.
That's a second kick where you've really just... And the third to the midsection, you can hear those.
See what Hamid is trying to use that overhand as a means to close the distance and get in and take the takedown. The clinch he's initiating is predicated off coming over the top with that big overhand, trying to establish double underhooks.
I gotta say, I am impressed by Derek's defensive wrestling so far. He's doing a good job at staying upright, and he got back up reasonably quickly.
Oh, he dropped it with a big overhand! Oh, this could be the beginning of the end. Massive ground and pound. The professional soccer player avoids the own goal, hits it in off the top bar. Beautiful hands.
That is another first round finish here at Brave 37. Fantastic work there from Sadid.
Knocks out the world championship level kickboxer.
So we saw just previously a striker get a submission win, and now on paper, someone who should have been using their grappling get a TKO off of an overhand right.
And here we see some of the action, the clinch, and it was just seemed to be behind the ear at the upper part of the temple, just taking away the equilibrium of the Peacemaker. Beautiful finish, Seb.
Fantastic work, and look at the redness on his side. I mean, those kicks were definitely doing damage, and it was very good for him that he got Derek out of here as quickly as he did.
I think we're just getting ready for Mr. Lance Murdoch to throw up the official decision.
And if things continue at this pace, we will have a quick night ahead of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee stopped the action after 1 minute and 37 seconds of the very first round. And the winner, by way of TKO in the red corner, Hamid Sadid.
Huge win for Hamid Sadid. Gets his professional mixed martial arts career off to an absolute flyer of a start.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he took those kicks like a champ, pressured Derek with his wrestling. And, you know, once Derek was getting used to the defensive wrestling, that's when Sadid went up top with that overhand right, got him down, and then pounded him out.
And he did come close with it a couple of times, Seb.
Yeah.
It was definitely a threat throughout the short entirety of that 1 minute 30 fight. Let's keep things moving right along to our third fight.
All right, here's some of the action from previous round. We started off seeing some quick kicks from Derek, but here came the takedown attempts from Sadid. Derek initially doing a good job at getting back up after being taken down.
Post it on the knee, post it on the arm. Use the sequence to get up. But then the kicking game of Syed was fantastic.
Oh. And there is that.
Just a real tight, short, little shot. Takes the equilibrium, takes the legs. And Hamid takes the win.
Up next, allow me to introduce to the blue corner, Bianca Ant-Man.
And making her professional debut, Bianca Ant-Man. Once again, talking about someone with a wealth of striking experience. But what's interesting is that despite her winning championships in Muay Thai, she has since won several champions in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling, and she's actually won more titles recently in grappling than anything else.
Yeah, making her professional debut, but as an amateur, she was 5-1, 4 wins by way of submission, 1 win by decision. So on paper, you would assume that she is a straight grappler, but 2019 IMAF World Champion, a 2020 Oceania Open Champion, trains with some of the best in the world at All-Stars, and currently a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but won the Worlds as a white belt.
Impressive stuff. Obviously someone who can do it all once again. And interestingly, it wasn't exactly love at first sight when it came to grappling. She actually didn't really like it initially, but has since really made it her own.
And next, let's introduce her opponent into the red corner, Vera Canon.
Hailing from Finland, Vera Canon. And this is a lady who is about as tough as they come. She keeps on going no matter what. There's no quit in her. She's a BJJ blue belt, much like her opponent Bianca Ant-Man. And she's made her professional debut actually way back in 2014.
Never been finished in a professional mixed martial arts bout. This is a kind of a perfect foil for me, for Bianca Ant-Man. It's someone who could potentially drag her into the deep waters of professional MMA, somewhere she's never really been before. So it might be a case of sink or swim for Ant-Man.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very interesting. I remember seeing Vera Canon fight Iman Darabi here in Sweden many years ago, and I remember thinking, wow, this girl's tough. So she's definitely a great opponent, great matchmaking here at Brave. Definitely someone who is going to test Bianca Ant-Man. And Ant-Man was the second ever female flyweight gold medalist for Sweden in the IMFs, and the first ever mom champ.
Mom champ, that's a special kind of power. Speaking to Vera in the lead up to this fight, she feels she holds the distinct advantage in the wrestling. So it'll be interesting to see how that transpires leading into this fight.
Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of pro MMA in this strawweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, weighing in at 52.6 kilograms, making her pro debut, Bianca Ant-Man! Across the cage, her opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Helsinki, Finland, weighing in at 51.9 kilograms with a pro record of 2 wins and 2 losses. Vera Wonder Woman Canon! Kevin Sataki is in charge of the action.
Vera Canon, the picture of calm and composure in there.
Well, she is Finnish. There is something about them. And they've got a certain coolness to them. I don't really know what it is. There's something in the water. They are tough people. And she's used to being the away fighter, the one you know trying to play spoiler. Like I mentioned, I saw her here in Stockholm a couple years back. She made her pro debut in England as an away fighter again, and here she is once again looking to shut down the hometown favorite. Oh, a little slip there from Canon.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of moisture on the canvas.
Come in.
All right, yes, we are going to have to clean it up. We do not want anyone slipping on that.
Referee does the right thing, sends the fighters to neutral corners. Yep.
Of course, Kevin Sataki, a veteran of the referee game, especially here in Sweden and Scandinavia.
Yeah, last thing you want as a professional mixed martial artist is your footing to be impeded by any stretch of the imagination, as it's such an important facet of mixed martial arts.
Absolutely. It would be an incredible shame for it to spoil a fight like this. But we will be back in action.
All right, second attempt to get started. Cage doors locked and we are ready to go. Both these women coming out of the orthodox stance.
Oh, nice little exchange there.
I like the way Ant-Man's countering off the kicks of Vera. Nice head movement.
Yeah, her right hand. Oh, I like the...
Oh, that's a big overhand from Ant-Man.
That right hand is really landing for Ant-Man. And yeah, like you said, she's countering fantastically with it. Great kicks, too.
Thought about the knee, but a little bit of marking up under the the right eye of Ant-Man.
Yeah, I mean, Canon, she is tough as nails. She'll take a hit and keep on coming. A little bit of redness under her right eye as well.
I like the way beautiful counter hook there. They're very much fighting in the pocket, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And those kicks, I think, will start to add up for Bianca Ant-Man. She's landed a couple of them now, very hard.
Kicking more so with the foot is Vera Canon. But these girls are just happy to stand in the one spot and bang! Oh, beautiful straight from Ant-Man. Nicknamed Torhinha, meaning the little bull. And you can see why.
Yeah, very appropriate name. Nikanen going to the body with that one.
Vera's going to have to play the role of the matador a little bit more here against the little bull.
The hits keep on coming, both in the fight and in the commentary. Another
That's
fantastic exchange here,
body.
punctuated by a kick to the body from Bianca Ant-Man. I think. And again. And you can see Nikanen's right hand hanging very low. I mean, the body will naturally start to drop to defend those areas that are hurt.
Keeping her hands low. She's dipping her head ever so slightly when she comes in and as part of those exchanges.
Yeah, she's got to be careful because I suspect that Ant-Man may be going high with one of those kicks soon.
You can already see the redness really starting to swell up on the inside leg of Vera Canon.
Again, that left kick, very nicely done from Bianca Ant-Man.
And if we can see that Vera's dipping her head ever so slightly, we're pretty sure that the corner of Ant-Man can see that too.
Exactly. And I feel like she's managing distance while using those kicks. Keep Nikanen at bay when possible.
Beautiful front kick to keep her where she wants her.
An interesting no takedown attempt so far from Nikanen, who, as you mentioned before, felt she had the advantage with the wrestling.
Just shy with the head kick. Had that been a little bit taller. But Vera seems to be dropping her hands. She lands her punches, and then as she's exiting, she's dropping her hands. It's a very risky game to play.
You gotta be careful, especially against a high-level striker like Bianca Ant-Man.
Oh, nice 1-2. Fakes the takedown, comes over the top.
She needs more of that. She needs to keep Bianca Ant-Man guessing a little bit. Even if she's not going to commit to the takedown, maybe show it a little bit, fake it a little bit, just to keep Ant-Man thinking.
Indeed, Seb, indeed. Catches the kick, but those hands are dangerously low for my liking. Trying to get off on the 1-2, but so far, very interesting striking exchange from the two of them. It's fought very much more in the realm of a kickboxing fight than a mixed martial arts fight at the moment.
Absolutely, and Nikanen taking these hits like a champ. I mean, I know for a fact that Bianca Ant-Man kicks very hard.
Been the decision 4 times in her mixed martial arts career, so finished by name, not necessarily by nature, because she does seem quite hard to finish.
And she trains very regularly with Erik Varulin, who saw me on the undercard score a submission win. So he's been helping her round out her game, and he was the one that basically got her into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling.
See Vera now trying to counter the strikes, but a real nice showing of fluidity with the strikes from Ant-Man. You know, she's mixing together the punches, the kicks, working off her jab. I love the range that these women are fighting at. There's not really a feeling out process.
Yeah, I mean, from the start, they just basically went for it.
It's almost like that Muay Thai mentality where you land, I land, you strike, I strike.
And you will not hear any complaints from us or for people watching at home for that.
Not at all, Seb.
Still, those hands hanging dangerously low for Nikanen.
Nice jab landed by Nikanen.
I mean, she has had some success with this. And wow. And there it is. There's a takedown with 10 seconds left.
Very intelligent mixed martial arts there. Very close round on the stand-up, but needs to be wary of an armbar. But as we know, Seb, takedowns score big in mixed martial arts.
They do. You gotta think, though, that Ant-Man was still getting the better of most of these striking exchanges are landing just a little bit harder. But yeah, I wonder how the judges are scoring it based on that final takedown.
So potentially what would have been more advantageous for Vera would have been to score that takedown a little bit earlier, try and implement a little bit of damage.
Because she got it without too much, without trying too hard. I mean, she got it relatively easy. But it could also be because Ant-Man was really settling into the striking, and it is about catching your opponent off guard a lot of time.
There you see, perfect entry into the double, scoops the legs, takes it down. Perhaps now that Vera has scored the takedown, she might look for it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
beat Bianca in the standing for a little bit, score the takedown and work from there. Perhaps it was a protective measure, taking her down in the last 10 seconds to see momentarily what the jiu-jitsu was like, how active the hips were of Bianca.
Yeah, true. Before there really is enough time to set up a proper submission, because, I mean, Ant-Man's grappling credentials as of late cannot be denied.
Ready. For first time tonight, we are into a second round.
And no real touch of gloves there. Bianca Ant-Man wanted to get right back into the action.
Yeah, these ladies are all business. That's a nice stiff jab being repeatedly landed by Bianca.
Just missed there with that right hand, did Bianca Ant-Man. And you can go for that lead hook a little bit now.
It's
having some success with it.
yeah, the frequency of strikes, you know, they're not all knockout power shots. It's almost a Diaz-esque kind of approach.
Yeah.
You know, volume, fluidity, frequency.
Yeah, just slowly breaking your opponent down with just a huge magnitude of strikes.
But as you say, Vera, renowned for being one of the toughest fighters in women's MMA, she's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Oh, definitely. And so far, I mean, even though she is having a lot of success, I mean, Ant-Man has her work cut out for her. I mean, she's facing someone who just continuously goes forward, eats every single shot she can give.
You know, on the balance of this fight, maybe she should change her nickname to the Finnish Zombie.
I would not be mad at that.
See, it's almost as if Vera's anticipating that rear hand anytime she lands, so she's just getting her head off the center line.
Nice way of adapting to the action and to a fighting style. Right hand connected there. And again, the body kick. And it truly is going to take something extraordinary to put Nikan away. I mean, she is just a picture of toughness.
Nice in and out jab again. She must be very confident in her striking and her head movement to keep the hands out. Like, she hasn't been caught, you know, outrageously clean.
Yeah. It's perhaps just some of those earlier body kicks I really found her mark. But yeah, since then, Nikan is getting better at getting it, you know, a little bit more out of range in those exchanges.
Seems they've made some adjustments in between rounds, approaching this more with a counter-striking game plan.
And that's just, you know, the telltale of an experienced.
Oh, big strikes being landed by Ant-Man.
Yeah. Those definitely got Nikanen's attention.
Nice knee up the middle. Maybe put the manners on Vera a little bit to prevent her from ducking the head in. Both these women starting to wear the story of the fight a little bit more. Attempted Superman punch from Ant-Man.
And interesting about, despite securing that takedown at the end of the first round, Nikan has not resorted to any wrestling for the duration of his second round, and just under 2 minutes left. It's definitely a testament to her toughness, but I wonder if perhaps not mixing in a little takedown here and there would be good for swaying the momentum of the fight to her favor.
Well, she's established that she can score the takedown. You know, she's done that at the end of the first round, so maybe she might try and score that takedown a little bit earlier than the final 10 seconds of the round. Just as I say that, scores the takedown, but Ant-Man momentarily down, being punished with big shots to the side of the head.
Nicely done defensively from Bianca Ant-Man.
Seems to be finding that gap. Splits her base well. Digs in for the underhook. Try and raise the level here of Vera Canon. I think she's cut her open. I can see a little bit of blood leaking, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it, right? And it might be one of those short shots. I mean, with the gloves, depending on how you land, you can't cut somebody open, even if it's not, you're not winging your punches. And there is a takedown for Vera Canon right in front of our broadcast position.
Big takedown for Canon. Landing in the side control. Momentarily looked like she was going to switch to north-south, but that's more of just a stalling position. But yeah, we could be watching a setup for a north-south choke.
Yeah.
And Vera transitions the whole way round into side control. Ant-Man needs to be careful holding onto the neck there.
Good job at getting back to half guard there for Bianca Ant-Man. And it looks like the round is going to come to a close with Finland's Nikkanen on top and potentially 2 rounds up. First round is a little bit up for grabs. It was a lot closer, but considering how close this round was initially, and then rounded out with Nikkanen in top position for over a minute, I gotta say this round probably went to her.
It really comes down to how you interpret the scoring criteria. You know, it's based on effective striking, grappling, control, damage also being a massive criteria. And you see Bianca wearing the fight a little bit more, a bloodied mouth, a little bit of marking underneath the eye. Big takedown here for Vera Nikkanen, lands right into the side control. And takedown score big in mixed martial arts, Sebastian.
Oh, they do. Wondering how that cut is on Vera Nikkanen. We didn't really see where it was. We just saw there was some blood coming from somewhere. Is it underneath the eye, perhaps?
Come on, seconds out. Let's go. All the way back, please. All the way back. Vera, third and final round. Bianca, third and final round.
Here we go, third and final round, ready to commence,
Let's dance.
and there we go. There's a touch of gloves.
A little bit of smile from both women there. Obviously enjoying themselves in here.
Well, 10 minutes of violence will bring you closer to somebody.
Oh, big shot. And then a reply from Ant-Man. Just shy stepping in with that elbow. Oh, beautiful kick to the body.
Again, that right hand, left kick combination. I'm really liking that from Ant-Man.
Mixing up her strikes. There seems to be a greater degree of impetus, of urgency here from Bianca Ant-Man.
Well, I mean, after spending the last minute of a previous round on your back, I mean, obviously, for many people, it does light a fire. And for an experienced competitor like Bianca Ant-Man, who's been there in both striking competitions, grappling competitions, I'm pretty sure that having that adversity will really light her up.
Just mixing up the kicks nicely. But again, much to Vera's credit, she's constantly throwing back. She's constantly putting something in the face of Bianca Ant-Man.
Finish zombie indeed. I mean, she's eating some heavy, heavy shots.
But if her record is anything to go by, she's happy to stay in there. Win, lose, draw, she stays in there to the end. So durable, so tough.
Oh, spinning back fist there from Bianca Ant-Man. Connected.
Vera just looks at her and has a wry smile.
Yeah. And Ant-Man has got to know now that the takedown is probably coming again. And that can sort of halt up your game a little bit, stop your flow, because, I mean, you're thinking about an extra aspect of a fight that you weren't necessarily...
Oh, head kick! Head kick knockout! Unbelievable! Where did that come from?
I said it. Wow. That is it. Investing in those body kicks and leg kicks and then going up high in the final round when it was necessary. She could have been down 2 rounds, but wow. Becoming the first woman to finish Vera Nikkanen as a pro.
That is absolutely huge. Showed off her striking repertoire, mixed the hands in with the kicks, knew she had to go out in the 3rd round and deliver. And like my favorite postman, she delivered. Unbelievable.
I mean, what a performance. So clean, so clinical. And yeah, Nikkanen was out. That's a great stoppage.
Great stoppage by a referee. Absolutely brilliant work. But what a finish in your mixed martial arts debut.
Could not ask for a better result there. 3rd round KO. Fantastic work. And Nikkanen all smiles again.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in an absolutely savage finish, our referee stopped the action after 1 minute and 37 seconds of the 3rd round. And the winner, by way of KO in the blue corner, Bianca Ant-Man!
What a performance, what a debut professionally from Bianca Ant-Man. Becomes the first woman to finish Vera Nikkanen, who is notoriously tough as nails. We saw that the whole fight.
I think now she's just asking. I think she's still a little bit unsure of exactly what happened. If anything, that tells you just how great a stoppage it was by the referee. And here we see the replay of it again. This is some exchanges earlier in the fight.
Yeah, this is the first round. It's before either of them were really wearing the fight.
Just mixing it up, staying in the pocket. Credit to both of them for staying in the pocket.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
throwing those hands.
I mean, they are definitely living up to the excitement that we received in the amateur portion of the undercard. Great stuff. And, you know, hats off to Nikan also for just taking those licks and keeping on coming.
Yeah, really showed her durability, toughness, her gameness, and then lands a huge head kick. Like, that's the kind of knockout that's going to go viral.
Oh, absolutely.
I think potentially before the end of the night, we could see that head kick all over social media. Bianca Ant-Man tails off a glittering amateur career, begins a wonderful professional career. What a way to get yourself off the mark. Wallop!
There it is. Wow. I mean, just so nicely done from Bianca Ant-Man. And, you know, I'm pretty sure, but she was investing in that by going to the body as many times as she did.
Well, let's keep the
Up
heads
next,
coming.
ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce, first of all, to the blue corner, Daigashek.
I'm Michael Daigashek, 34 years old, record from 7 wins, 3 losses, fighting out of Ulsters gym in Sweden and pound for pound Germany and Naturally Born in Brazil. It was a little bit difficult because of Corona, because in Germany the clubs were closed, but I trained every day with Sally and with Emra, 2 friends of mine. Then when I heard that I can fight here again, I flew directly to Sweden, where I started my training camp, and here I am. I don't know much about him, I just know his stuff. He wants to walk forward, but let's see on Saturday. I want to talk about him.
All right, here we have Michael Daigashek, a fighter who really bears it all in the cage.
I think you're alluding to the weigh-ins when he had no need for the towel, just dropped try, stood on the scales, proud as you like. Be getting into it, 34-year-old Michael Daigashek, 5'10", a professional record of 7 wins, 3 losses, all his wins coming by way of finish, currently riding a 2-fight win streak, 5 first-round finishes, very dangerous, very capable.
And next, allow me to introduce his opponent into the red corner, Fernando Flores.
My name is Fernando Flores. I'm fighting from north of Sweden called Umeå, and my pro record is 6-7, and I'm here to put on a fight. The preparation was different because the COVID-19, so I've always been training, but not so much sparring partners. My opponent is a tough guy, 2 years layoff for injury. I have fought in Brave before, in bantamweight and featherweight and lightweight, and he's a good submission machine. But I'm here to fight, and we're gonna give the crowd, the people, a fight. Michelle, prepare for a war.
Sebastian, tell me just why Fernando El Toro Flores is one of the most beloved fighters in Swedish mixed martial arts.
Oh, well, how much time have we got? Well, first of all, his fighting style. I mean, El Toro is right. He keeps coming forward and does not give up. But for as good of a fighter as he is inside the cage, even better human being outside of it. He's very involved in charity work. He wanted to actually fight last month at a local show here in Sweden. Unfortunately, could not really get an opponent in time. But what he told the promoter was, I'll fight for free. Just give all my winnings, all my earnings to a charity that is devoted to helping out children in need. So it really says a lot about the kind of person that he is. Every time I see him, he's just one of the nicest guys you will meet. And from the far north, he's got that top northern toughness as well. He's only ever been finished once in his career, and that was in a bout that was for the, I guess you could say, the Swedish BMF title, more or less. He ended up coming up short there, but he did very well. He had a lot of success in that fight, landed a lot of really hard shots, and he is just a real veteran here of a Swedish MMA game. Hard not to like him.
Only began training in mixed martial arts age 27. Again, showing it is never too late to turn your dream into a reality. A 2013 Swedish national amateur champion at 70 kilos and seems to be, as I say, one of the most beloved characters in all of Swedish MMA.
Definitely, and I know that he can prove why here inside the Brave cage as well. This is a great opportunity for him.
Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of pro mixed martial arts in this featherweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Munich by way of Brazil, weighing in at 66.1 kilograms with a professional record of 7 wins and 3 losses, Michael Mikondi Daigashek! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, also fighting out of Sweden, weighing in at 66 kilograms with a professional record of 6 wins and 7 losses, Fernando El Toro Flores! Deck Larkin is in charge of the action.
Let's go. Take the middle right away, pressure right away.
Deck the Bennett Larkin, the third man in the octagon here tonight, and this should be a real battle. I like what Flores said in the lead-up to the fight, prepare for war. That is, yeah, exactly what we should hear.
And not having fought since October of 2018, Michael Daigashek is biting at the bit. You can see the intensity, you can see the eagerness to get in and mix it up. And here we go. Touch of the gloves. This was many people's pick for sleeper fight of the night.
Absolutely. I think I was one of those who could call this a clear contender for fight of the night.
Oh,
yeah, they're proving why.
These men are just meeting in the middle and throwing down. Flores happy to take a shot, to land a shot.
Shek currently riding a 2-fight winning streak, both first-round submission wins.
Oh, the eye was impeded there a little bit. You've seen Flores shaking it off just a little bit, initiates the clinch. Shek does a great job to dig in for those underhooks and bring Flores up a level to prevent him from getting that takedown. You know Michael Daigashek has hands. He's a former national European and intercontinental Muay Thai champion, so it's a man who loves to strike. But not only that, he's also a BJJ purple belt, so very well-rounded.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, 2-fight winning streak, both by first-round submission, and he has gotten it done quickly, fighting like he was double parked. Those 2 victories, how quickly did he collect them? In less than 1.5 minutes combined.
Flores is really working for this takedown. So far, good defense, pushing down the head, landing little pot shots. There's Flores.
There we have a takedown.
That's a big takedown for Flores, and you can still see him wincing, like the eyes impeded. Perhaps there was some sort of impediment to the orbital bone there. I guess it depends how quickly we see if that eye starts to swell up.
Flores has fought some very good competition. He faced Finnish veteran Tuomas Hytten, and at that point, Hytten had 4 times the experience in MMA that Flores had.
Flores planting his knee between the legs of Shek. Again, scores the takedown.
Some definite redness around the eye of Fernando Flores. Still kind of wincing a little bit. And while most of Flores' fights have gone to decision, his lone finish has been by a submission. So
a beautiful anaconda choke back in 2015. So it's been a while for a finish. You could say he's perhaps drew one. You can hear the corner of Michael Daigashek calling him to get to the cage, get his back up against it, use it to walk up. But good work in establishing the butterflies.
Yeah. So far, Flores hasn't been able to land a whole lot of offense from top position. Now it is, a testament of Shek's defense so far.
You can see him splitting the base, uses the hip to get out well there. Needs to be careful not to give up the back in this position. And you can hear that guttural scream of determination.
And this is just a grueling fight. Oh, and he goes...
Armman guillotine.
but nope, does not last. And once again, right in front of our broadcast position.
That's a big strike over the top from Flores.
And he has very good ground and pound.
Michael has that wrist control, perhaps trying to set up a triangle. You can see him on the left side. May try and stuff that down between his legs.
Yeah, that looked
Referee
like it was back of the head.
Referee calling for a little bit of caution there with the elbows.
Flores bleeding a bit from his nose, it seems like.
Daigashek with the butterfly guards, but he's landing shots here. May try and dig in on.
All right, and Flores gets it back. Let's see if he can get the hooks in.
He doesn't have the hooks in quite now.
And he's got to be careful so that he doesn't get brushed off by Shek.
You may see Michael Daigashek almost try buck the hips a little bit, try and tripod.
Yes, good. Again. Go.
Less than a minute left in the fight, and so far a stellar performance from both men.
Absolutely, both guys having moments. Whoa,
that's a huge flare takedown. Landing big ground and pound right in front of us here in broadcast.
What a way to punctuate the round. That is the ground and pound I was expecting earlier from Fernando Flores. That's the style that makes him so beloved here in Sweden.
Perhaps trying to work for a necktie, but has the position. Could switch to a Darce. That submission he does have in 2015 from the Darce. Trying to roll with it. Has the bicep grip. Does he have enough time?
That is it!
Unbelievable finish. That was crazy.
First round submission.
Second submission in his career. The first since 2015. I am seeing exactly why. He is one of the most beloved characters in Swedish mixed martial arts.
I told you, he certainly lived up to it. I mean, and he very obviously had some issues with his left eye, and it is hard not to feel for him in his joy here.
You can see just how much it means to him.
Returning to the win column on such a big stage against such a good opponent, and with a first round submission win, impressive stuff.
I would love to hear the official time of that submission, because it seemed to happen. Like you're talking 4 minutes 58, 4 minutes 59. That was
something like that.
That was as close as you can get.
It seemed like Shek may have hurt his arm or his hand a little bit, and the emotion pouring in there for Fernando Flores. I'm starting to get a little bit sweaty around the eyes, to be honest.
You can see a fantastic performance, and again, you know, this is a fighter's fighter. This is somebody that lives and breathes the lifestyle.
He doesn't need to do this, but he loves it.
And just gathering himself, just centering himself. Very emotionally intelligent fighter as well.
Yes, definitely.
Let's send it up to Lance for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Mr. Deck Larkin, stopped the action after 4 minutes and 51 seconds in the very first round. And the winner, by way of Darce choke, in the red corner, Fernando El Toro Flores!
Right at the end of the first round, impressive stuff from Fernando Flores. I'm definitely interested in hearing what he has to say after returning to the win column in such a big way. Obviously, being finished the way that he was in his last fight had to be going against him. Must feel great now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by a victorious Fernando Flores. How are you feeling, sir?
Man, it feels amazing. I'm so, what do you call it, emotional.
Yeah.
You know, I've been training my ass off.
Yeah.
Always.
We could see in the cage just how much it meant to you in that moment. Tell us what it means to you to get to this point in your mixed martial arts career. You're one of the most beloved figures in all of Swedish MMA. What did it feel like to know that essentially a country was behind you?
It feels amazing. You know, I come from a family with hard work, and sorry, but I raised my kids to do a better lifestyle that I did, and I'm here. I'm here to show that Swedish MMA is a good platform, and we Swedish MMA fighters are good fighters, and rest of the world can watch out.
I'm sure your kids are intensely proud of you, as is the entire Swedish mixed martial arts community. One thing I would like to ask, at the beginning of the fight, when the strikes were landed, when you both exchanged, were you caught in the eye? Was there some sort of impediment? Because we saw you blinking.
Yeah, I couldn't see nothing, so I just felt I have to go for the takedown and took him down. And after 2 minutes, my eyes started to open up and I can start to see. So then I can see how he's working with his body, so I can work in my choke.
Now, it was very late at the end of the first round. Were you aware just how close you were to coming to the end of the round?
Yeah, my last fight, I lost to a Swedish prospect. It was 1 second left. It was my round, but he knocked me down. And this is MMA. That's why I love it. It's a hard sport and a nude sport that show everything. We leave everything in the cage for all you peoples.
And now scoring potentially the biggest win of your mixed martial arts career. What do you do next?
Next, call my kids because they're worried. They think I'm too old and was worried that I will get knocked down. So only say hello to them, then I celebrate, go back to work. I'm working and fighting, so I have to work to feed my kids. So that's, and I will, on to the next one. I want a new fights, of course. I love to fight.
Fernando, once again, just sincere congratulations on a genuinely fantastic performance. We hope to see you again soon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Allow me to introduce to the blue corner, Anastasios Herkelesic.
I'm 41 years old. I'm from Hellas. My team is Corpus Arena team, and my record is 3-1. The preparation was only a few days. It was only 3 days notice. But I was training before that, just to be in shape. So something happened to my opponent, to my opponent's opponent, and the schedule changed. So I replaced him, and we're here to fight. To be honest, I haven't seen him enough. I haven't checked him. I didn't have the time to check his fights. I respect every fighter I fight, and I hope he will do the best. This fight is that, honestly, there's no predictions. And we both hope that we're gonna get the result we want to get. Anton Turkali, I hope after the fight, you're gonna get some nice days of vacation. You should consider Greece. It's really nice weather now there.
Athanasios Heraclitus making his way to the cage here. And talk about a Herculean effort coming in here on 3 days' notice. Hats off for that.
Yeah, it's a huge undertaking for the Greek kickboxing specialist. Professional 3-1. Interestingly, all 3 of his wins have come by way of finish. So this is a proven striker, a proven finisher. His last fight was all the way back in June of 2016, which he won via first round TKO. 1 first round finish, 2 second round finishes, a genuine power punching KO artist. Also owns a devastating head kick KO on his ledger, which was a genuine sight to behold.
Oh, absolutely. His professional debut against Savas Kyriakidis started off that second round with just a hellacious kick. First a spinning back kick and then a high kick to punctuate it. Very nicely done. His kicks in general, I feel, are very, very good. He last fought in 2016, had a fight booked in 2018, but it did not materialize. And really soaking in the moment here.
You alluded to that spinning back kick that he threw. Is a Taekwondo black belt, which gives his striking arsenal a more verified and a dynamic complexion.
And here he makes his way to the cage. And he has his work cut out for him. He's got a very tough opponent ahead of him.
And next, his opponent in the red corner, Anton Turkali.
My name is Anton Turca. I'm 24 years old. I have a professional record at 4-0. I'm come from Gothenburg. I represent GBG MMA. I'm the Joachim Engberg. I've been training a lot. I had a fight in April that was cancelled because of COVID. So I've been in camp maybe for 6 months. so it's been a long camp and a good camp. I've been training a lot with Alex here in Stockholm, so I'm happy that he took the fight, and I have a lot of respect for my opponent. I wake up every morning and see myself in the mirror and getting scared, so I'm happy that he took the fight. And I hope it brings me some gyros. I'm pretty hungry.
Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of pro MMA in this catchweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Greece, weighing in at 99.2 kilograms with a pro record of 3 wins and 1 loss, Anathasios Herkelesis! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Gothenburg, Sweden, weighing in at 97 kilograms with an undefeated pro record of 4 fights and 4 wins, Anton "The Gift" Turkali!
Tail of the tape in front of us, the much younger man is Anton, 24 years old, respectively, against 41 years old from Athanasios. Athanasios taking a deep breath and looks the very picture of calm in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was taking his time getting into the cage as well.
You ready? You ready? Let's do this.
And there we go. No touch of gloves there. And whoa, what a start!
From chilled out 0 to 100 straight away. Diving backside slide, perhaps?
I mean, it looked like he was going for a flying knee, but then kind of changed his mind. Looked like it initially, the way he went off to the side and then charged at him, it was definitely reminiscent of Jorge Masvidal.
That's a good call. Right, in the clinch right now. Herkelesis trying to dig in for the underhooks. At the minute, it seems that Anton can pretty much do what he wants from this position. That's a second cage grab. There's the outside trip.
Oh,
lands right into the mount.
This is bad news for Herkelesis.
Has the grapevines in. Now he's just peppering the head of Herkelesis with shots. May look to frame off with the hand, crash the elbow in just like that. And he's really just seems to be holding on right now for dear life. Trying to hip out, trying to buck. May give up his back. These are big shots being landed by Anton.
Heavy shots from Anton Turkali here on top, but credit to Herkelesis sticking through it.
Again, Anton showing a little bit of savvy, not rushing straight away. Tying up the legs of Herkelesis. You can see he has that famed Dagestani handcuff, landing big strikes. That's 1 hook in, 2 hooks in. May look to flatten out the Greek fighter.
Yes, he does. More hard strikes from the top there from Anton Turkali. And the last time we saw him compete was actually in a grappling bout against Swedish sensation and MMA legend Alexander Gustafsson.
Right now, Herkelesis is just eating shots. That's a big elbow from the side. That's huge. Oh, massive elbows by Anton. Calls it in the first round. Beautifully dominant performance. Walks away like he's going down to the shops to buy a pint of milk. Wonderful performance.
Wow, we have definitely a future star on our hands here.
runs his professional record to 5 wins, 5 finishes, 4 in the very first round.
And I'll tell you, there are not a lot of fighters that want to sign on a dotted line to face Anton Turkali.
There you see, just turned it up from pot shots to crashing elbows. And Hercules might have momentarily been out there.
Yeah, I think so. The way he was looking up at Decky Larkin looked like it. And I mean, it's very easy to believe. I mean, Turkali has so much power in his shots.
Go ahead.
Let's send it back into the cage. Mr. Lance Murdoch, official decision, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Mr. Deck Larkin, stopped the action after only 1 minute and 57 seconds of the very first round. The winner, by way of TKO and still undefeated, Anton Turkali!
Well, I think the only thing matched by Anton Turkali's power and talent is his colorful personality, which I'm sure we will see illustrated in the post-fight interview.
Here we see the replay. Starts off potentially with the flying knee.
Yeah, but then we saw Hercules going for a spinning back kick, sort of dampened that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Anton Turkali. Anton, congratulations, sir. How are you feeling after a dominant win like that?
Phil, I just got one thing to say, and that's first of all, I got 3 opponents. All of them said no. We start with Thomas Narmo. He called himself a Viking. He had infection in his hips. What the fuck is that? Do you ever heard a Viking has an infection in his hip? Come on. The second, Ricardo, he was busy in Italy making pasta, lasagna, pizza. What the fuck? And third, we got the Black Hulk, Todd Sturt. What the fuck, man? He's that type of Instagram fight, you know, blah, 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 talks a lot, fight anyone, everywhere. Come on, he got the opportunity to fight me, said no. So I don't know what to say. I just want to fight.
So there you have it. Is that an open call out to the Black Hulk, Todd Stout?
Maybe I will see. I will fight again the 15th of August, so I'll fight anyone. He's not man enough to fight me, so.
Now let's talk about the switching up of opponents. At one stage, it looked like you may not have even got the fight. Was that mentally draining on you?
No.
Simple as that. Talk me through that finish. You took the back with beautiful grace, transitioned into the dominant position, and the strikes from there, fantastic.
I can't remember. I was thinking about drinking alcohol tonight. I'm going to get wasted, so I don't know.
So priority's going out and celebrating the win.
Yeah. I'm going to celebrate tonight, drink a lot with my team and the rest of the Brave group, and then tomorrow we're going to go back to Gothenburg, train, and come back in 2 weeks and do show.
Right now your mind might be on the celebration, but have you given any thought to what you want to do next? What kind of a statement you want to make here with Brave Combat Federation?
That's my answer. The belt!
The belt. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time. Congratulations, sir. Anton Turkali.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, in a highly anticipated clash, allow me to introduce, first of all, to the blue corner, Mohamed Mcvay.
My name is Mohamed Mcvay. I'm 20 years old, representing KHK MMA gym, fighting out of Manchester, England. My preparation for this fight was great. I'm always in the camp. I don't have such a thing as a 6 weeks camp. I'm always in the gym. Every day, morning and nighttime, I'm always in the shape. I respect my opponent because he stepped in short time notice, but he talked too much. Even he's been beaten before, so. He's going too far with trash talk. I'm gonna finish this guy. When cage closes, there's no Twitter, no Instagram. I'm gonna talk right in the cage.
Sebastian, tell me why Mohamed Mcvay is considered the #1 pound-for-pound ranked amateur to have ever competed in mixed martial arts.
Well, how about this? 23-0. That is unheard of. I mean, just championship after championship, 4-time British champion wrestler. and he has just the most suffocating style. Huge suplexes, huge slams, but also a very underrated striking game with some exotic techniques. I've seen him go for what looks like Showtime kicks off of a cage. So he is more than just a top-notch wrestler.
A 4-time IMAF gold medalist, a 2-time world IMAF champion, a 4-time British MMA champion at amateur in 2 different weight classes, it must be said. As you said, an amateur, 23 and the experience this young man has, and more often than not, professional mixed martial artists make their debuts in little back hall shows and little pubs and clubs. He's making his professional debut on the world stage. Does that bring added pressure?
I think it does, but then again, he's competed at such a high level for so long. I know that people have been following him.
And next, allow me to introduce his opponent into the red corner, Glenn Mcveigh.
My name is Glenn Mcvay, and I fight out of Fati Academy, Ireland. There's literally no more motivation that I need than to fight Mcvay, because it's a personal thing now. I don't like him. I don't like who he is. I don't like how he gets on. So he has to come out, he has to finish me, he has to put on a show. That's pressure on him. I've trained with pro guys. I've been training for a pro fight since I was like 19. He has absolutely no idea. Mcvay, I'm gonna try and destroy you. I'm coming literally for all your hype, everything that you've worked for all these years, training, wrestling, fighting, 23-0. It's all gonna mean nothing whenever you lose your first professional fight to me.
Sebastian, they do not call us the Fighting Irish for nothing. Glenn Mcveigh grabbing the opportunity with both hands to take on the most highly regarded prospect in all of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a lot to what he was saying. I mean, he does have a potential to snatch all the hype that Mcvay has built up. And I mean, Mcvay, a star. It's hard to find an amateur fighter with as much buzz around him as he has had. I mean, I know that people have been documenting, my good friends at Raptors MMA have been documenting his success and his way up through the ranks. And I like the little allusion there that Mcveigh said as well. He's taking everything, wants to come here and take everything that he's worked for. Sounds a little familiar.
Fighting out of Fight Academy, Ireland, under the tutelage of Liam Shannon and Pat McAllister. Don't get it twisted, Glenn Mcveigh trains with some of the best guys in Europe. Guys like Dickie Dalton, guys like Joe McColgan, guys like Paul Hughes. He also has Matthew Elliott, a member of the British national wrestling team, in his corner. So Glenn Mcveigh can do it all, very well rounded, ready to go, perhaps has the potential to cause the biggest upset in modern day mixed martial arts.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this bantamweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Manchester, England, by way of Dagestan, weighing in at 61.2 kilograms, representing KHK Fight Team. He has an undefeated amateur record of 23 fights and 23 wins, making his pro debut, Mohammed the Punisher Mokayev! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Belfast, Northern Ireland, weighing in at 64 kilograms, with an amateur record of 11 wins and 5 losses, also making his pro debut, Glenn Big Buck Mcvay! Our referee in charge of the action, Kevin Sataki.
Oh, the tension in this building is unmatched right now. I can cut it with a knife.
Tail of the tape, 23 years old is Glenn Mcveigh. Oh, these boys are biting at the bit to get after this. Talking to each other already. Chance of don't be scared, homie, to be heard ringing out. Mcveigh biting at the bit to get started.
Oh, this is... I cannot wait.
1-2, opening up by Glenn Mcveigh. Wide stance, almost anticipating the takedown. Nice work to catch the kick by Mcveigh. Both men look very calm.
Oh,
big hands!
Hard strikes are from Mokayev.
Overhand there again. Good block from Glenn Mcveigh. Glenn Mcveigh on the leg, gets caught with a stinging shot by Mcveigh.
It looked for a moment like it was a little bit stunned there, but he's regained his composure. He's done a nice job of catching the kicks, though.
That's a big kick to the body from Mcveigh, but as you alluded to, caught the kicks well, did Mcveigh. There is a palpable tension in the air right now.
I feel it, yeah. Never good combination there from Mcveigh, but Mcveigh egging him on, saying, let's go.
Mcveigh nice and calm again, taking a huge opportunity, taking a huge risk. Glenn Mcveigh attempts the takedown. Mcveigh shows him the knee as if to say, next time you try that, it's there for you.
And like I said, Mcveigh, I mean, despite his wrestling credentials, he does have some very good, varied, and exotic striking. I've seen him go for, spinning back kicks, spinning back fists, and like I mentioned before, even jumping off a cage.
Mcveigh looks calm, catches Mcveigh with a short shot. Big overhand by Glenn Mcveigh.
It just feels like there's bad intentions behind every single strike thrown here. But Mcveigh taking it well. In general, he does have pretty good defensive wrestling, and so far he hasn't really needed to use it.
That's a big inside leg kick, then a big outside leg kick from Mcveigh. But Mcveigh looks loose in there. Looks like he's unfazed by the situation. Calling Mcveigh on.
Continuing to talk to each other. The bad blood is real.
Mcveigh leading the dance a little bit here, taking the center of the cage.
And credit to Mcveigh for stepping in here on short notice and taking a fight against a gentleman that not a lot of people are lining up to fight.
Oh, a big shot to the body, but Mcveigh does well to get his back away from the cage and take the center. Mcveigh trying to throw a couple of feints to try and get a bite from Mcveigh.
Those kicks from Mcveigh are just vicious. He's throwing everything he has into them.
Again to the body.
Strong kick right to the body.
Mcveigh really punishing the body of Glenn Mcveigh here.
Mcveigh's hands are low. We saw a little bit. Oh, another kick there landed. I think those kicks to the body are definitely giving him trouble.
Works, gets that whizzer, powers down. Still talking to each other. That's a big elbow from Mcveigh from the top. Mcveigh calling him on.
I'll tell you, for as much bad blood as there is here, I sure hope they can bury the hatchet afterwards.
Mcveigh trying to get guard, does well. Wrapping up the arms of Mcveigh.
And you can't sleep on Mcveigh's grappling, and he does have 4 submission wins. I saw him choke Ryan Murphy completely unconscious.
Definitely a very, very solid, well-rounded fighter is Glenn Mcveigh. 3-time Irish national MMA champion at amateur. So really does have that level of pedigree. And as you say, in an era at a time when nobody was putting their hand up to fight Muhammad Mcveigh, Glenn Mcveigh was there to answer the call.
You can always count on the toughness of the Irish here in the cage. He's to continuing to talk to each other.
Glenn Mcveigh active with the hips from the bottom, trying to get that guard a little bit higher, perhaps trying to set something up.
I mean, so far he's managed to nullify, or at least dampen, some of the ground and pound from Muhammad Mcveigh.
Trying to land elbows from the bottom to the top of the head of Mcveigh as Mcveigh.
Mcveigh's corner calling for elbows as well.
You can hear Dean Garnett in the corner of Muhammad Mcveigh asking for posture and strikes. Working the body, head is Mcveigh.
And I'm pretty sure that Mcveigh's glove will need some adjusting in between rounds. Seems like the tape has gotten loose.
Needs to be wary of the up kick here. Plants down, transitions into the north-south position.
Mcveigh scrambles, back up to his feet. I think one of those shots might have shaken him just a little bit.
Nice little shots being landed by Mcveigh, and what a round of action. You can see Mcveigh standing over Mcveigh, taunting him.
The contention does not stop here. Obviously, very strong rounder for Mcveigh. He got in some very strong kicks, but Mcveigh did a good job at catching. He just didn't necessarily really manage to put Mcvay on his back for long enough.
Please, okay? Thank you.
See Mcvay putting everything together, showing just why he's widely considered to be the best amateur in the world, transitioning to the pro ranks.
And that is high praise. I mean, just look at the level of MMA that we saw from the amateurs early on the undercard. And for him to be considered the pound-for-pound best amateur in the world, that is definitely impressive.
But now they've both had a feel of one another. They both know the lay of the land. I say it's time for Glenn Mcveigh to take the fight to Mcvay. They're still talking to each other. Still bad blood.
I don't expect them to stop.
All the way back. Gentlemen, let your hands do the words. You ready? Are you ready? All the way back.
Second round ready to go. Cage door just being closed. And have you ever known two debutant professional mixed martial artists to garner as much international acclaim, international attention as these two?
Absolutely not. A lot of people have been calling this a people's main event. And yeah, I mean, the lead up, the hype, the bad blood, the credentials that Mcvay has, there's so much going for building this fight up to be as exciting as it definitely has been so far.
Glenn Mcveigh trying to dig in for the underhook. Labor takedown there from Mcvay, gets the job done, locking up the legs of Mcveigh.
To mount. This is bad for Mcveigh.
Well, that's a hallmark of competent Dagestani fighters, locking up the legs, transitions into the mount, trying to take the back for the neck. Just slowly taking his time. Mcveigh needs to fight the hand that's at the top of the head. Go
So
baseball grab on that.
A little bit high right now, I think. I don't think it's exactly. It's really under the chin. And Mcvay's got to be careful not to burn himself out. But wait, is it under now?
Switches palm to palm on it at the minute. Seems like more of a neck crank. That's serious pressure, serious squeeze by Mcvay. He gives his corner the thumbs up to say he's fine. But again, gargantuan squeeze by Mcvay. And he's flattened Glenn Mcveigh out. There's potential here for big shots.
Watch your head, Mo.
Mcveigh trying to lock up those arms.
Holding on to Mcvay's arm, preventing a ground pound. But there he is loose, and this is just a world of hurt for Mcveigh. Terrible position to be in, and with so much of a round still left.
But you have to give Mcveigh credit for sticking into this point. That choke was close. Lesser people would have tapped just to get themselves out of those positions.
Yeah.
But Mcveigh is as tough as they come. And yes, he is a brash trash talker, but he backs it up with performances.
Absolutely. So far, he's been doing a good job. He's smiling now. They're continuously talking to each other. I love it.
The corner of Glenn Mcveigh, Matthew Elliott there calling for work. Mcvay slowly trying to work like a python, getting a little bit tighter with that grip.
And there is no body triangle, so I wonder if perhaps Mcveigh will try to spin around and land on top.
Just as you say that, he attempts it.
I mean, there is potential to get on top of for Mcveigh.
And he's not too far away. If he can just pivot and turn in towards, but again, Mcvay doing well to maintain that back position. Switches the grip. Mcveigh does the right thing by facing in towards. This looks like it could be slowly creeping. Again, Mcveigh defends.
Nicely done from Mcveigh.
Mohamed Mcvay showing his positional dominance, but it looks like that choke could be slipping in.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Can't quite see from our position here at the broadcast table, but again, Glenn Mcveigh showing some serious heart, will, and determination to stay in.
That is both skill and resilience right there. Because, I mean, let's face it, we've seen Mcvay pound people out way easier and way earlier with previous opponents. Mcveigh doing a very, very good job defensively here.
Mcvay still talking to him. These guys will have nothing left to say to each other after the fight. They've said it all in the cage.
Well, maybe they'll be forced to say something nice to each other then.
Stay focused, Mo. Come on, focus. Minute and a half left, 90 seconds. Let's finish
Mcvay's corner asking for focus, and I mean, obviously when there is a lot of bad blood, a lot of tension heading into a bout, you've got to be careful not to let that tension and let that emotion overtake the fight. You don't want to get sloppy in there.
You also have to remember that Mohamed Mcvay just turned 20 2 days ago, so he's still a very young man. Corner calling for a little bit more action. That's a big elbow from Mcvay.
Oh, and another one for good measure. Mcvay definitely felt that one. He immediately started scrambling out. But he's doing a good job defensively. I mean, there's been about 2 attempts at submissions which have looked close, but Mcveigh's gotten out of both, and he's managed to defend pretty much every ever.
Mckayev shakes. Glenn McVeigh shakes his head to the taunts of Mckayev, who very well could change his name to the backpack after this fight, the amount of time he spent on Glenn McVeigh's back.
Oh, and Mcveigh gets... Oh, just momentarily looked like he was gonna get out, but
again, that's the world-class level wrestling of Muhammad Mckayev. He seems to give opponents just enough space to make those little movements to advance his own position.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big knee. Glenn McVeigh shakes his finger at it as if to say no.
10 seconds left.
It's another big knee. There you go, second round in the books. Mckayev pushes Glenn McVeigh away.
I mean, I am all for some bad blood and some hype heading into a fight, but we don't want to see bad sportsmanship inside the cage.
No, it's a fine line. At the end of the day, all fighters respect one another by virtue of the fact they're stepping in there in the first place. But 2 rounds down, you've got to think Mckayev, going by the criteria, going by his positional dominance, is 2 rounds up. All to do for Glenn McVeigh.
Absolutely, it's do or die now.
Mckayev close a number of times with the rear naked choke. Glenn McVeigh showing his heart, his resilience, his character by fighting out of those positions.
Absolutely, Phil. You said it good. You said it best. There's a reason we call you guys with Fighting Irish.
Let's go.
And I like the variety that we've seen from Mckayev as well. He had a lot of kicks to start off the first round. Second round was Wrestling City. Let's see what the third has in store for us.
Mckayev looks loose, looks fit, looks in shape.
You ready, sir? You ready? Let's dance.
I feel like these guys are talking about as much as we are through a fight.
Glenn McVeigh's movement seems to be a little bit
slower, a little bit more labored.
But if you take into consideration, he only arrived here on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah. But still, it's been high security and high tension every time that these two have come close to each other here at the hotel. They almost had a bit of a dust-up when Mcveigh first arrived.
Almost got into it at the ceremonial weigh-ins too.
That too, yeah. Basically every single time they've seen each other here.
Mohamed Mckayev taking the center of the cage and on a low ankle. Mcveigh does well to defend. Good heavy sprawl from Mcveigh.
Nicely done defensively there.
Mcveigh showing that he has some wrestling chops too.
And that's a good moral victory for Mcveigh to show that he can defend the takedown. Mckayev's corner saying, let's stick to striking body head. Oh, that was a good left hand that landed.
Oh, that seemed to stun Mcveigh ever so slightly.
He's having a little bit of issues with his left eye and gets taken down for his troubles.
Solid takedown from Mckayev. Throws the hands to set up the takedown. Very smart for the 2-time former IMAF world champion. And now this is where a lot of people believe Mckayev does his best work.
I'm inclined to agree.
Sitting inside the guard. You can hear Dean Garnett calling for the finish. We might see the pass here from Mckayev. Mcveigh does well just to sneak in that butterfly.
Come on, Mo. If you want to stay there, you got to work, Mo.
And referee Kevin Sataki asking for some work from top position. Still plenty of time to do so. 3 minutes left in the round. Looked like he momentarily went for the guillotine, abandoned it. Probably a wise decision.
Mcveigh calling the shots that are going to him. You've got, look at them chatting away at each other.
It's like they're having their own simultaneous commentary of their fight.
Need to be wary of the submission threat, does Glenn Mcveigh. Get wrapped up, you don't know. That arm doesn't quite look deep enough for me from Mckayev.
Once again, a bend. Oh, heavy elbow connects there from top from Mohamed Mckayev.
2.5 minutes left in the third and final round.
Oh,
a big cut. Big cut between the eyes of Glenn Mcveigh.
That's a terrible spot too. It's very easy for blood to leak into the eyes there, both eyes really, especially when you're grounded like this.
And the blood you can see just trickling Can't quite see if it's impeding the vision yet, but that's a big cut.
Oh, I think it is.
Mcveigh bloodied right now, but definitely not beaten. Still fighting.
2 minutes, bro. Last 2 minutes now. I want to see more elbows.
Mohamed Mcveigh perhaps trying to get in on a guillotine. Perhaps trying to get in on that.
Control his head. He's bleeding pretty bad here, Mo. Yes, wrestling, man. Wrestling on him.
Nicely done. Nice. Wow.
Glenn Mcveigh turns in.
Good job scrambling there.
Mo holding it on right now, planning his next move.
Let's get our finish, Mo. Last 90 seconds. Push on
Makaev's
him.
corner calling for a finish. Let's see if he can get it.
Mcveigh holding on. The corner of Glenn Mcveigh asking for a little bit of posture and to land some strikes of his own.
Yeah, he has the potential to land some good ground and pound here against the cage. Elbow there, nicely done.
Glenn Mcveigh tried to get in on the guillotine, but
Very
because
close.
they're slick with sweat, they're slick with blood, it was always going to be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is just a terrible position for Mcveigh. There was a little bit of potential there where he basically was in top position, lost it though, and now Makaev is where he, as we said before, does a lot of his best work.
Momentarily, Mcveigh had a foot on the hip, wrapping up with the overhook on that left side of Makaev. 30 seconds to go in the third and final round. Can Makaev put an exclamation point at the end of the fight?
Both of you, watch your words.
Okay, referee Kevin Sataki telling him to watch their words.
Go on, let's go. Last 20.
Big hammer fist from Makaev. Transitions into side control. Again, full credit to Mcveigh, constantly trying to make something happen.
Absolutely.
Showing serious heart and determination.
Almost got back to his feet there momentarily, but yeah, this round is going to come to an end with Makaev on top.
Time! Come on, guys, get up. Hey.
Still a little bit of tension there.
Yeah.
Glenn Mcveigh wipes away the blood. I'm going to go out on a limb, Seb, and say I don't think the beef has been squashed.
No, I don't think so. I guess they still do have quite a bit left to say, and not a whole lot of it good. But yeah, very good performance from Mohamed Makaev, mixing up his game very well. I liked a lot of the kicks that he was landing in the first round, and then after that, it was takedowns, ground and pound, submission attempts, just a flustering Glenn Mcveigh, who, to his credit, did a good job in many situations defending, but just not really enough.
Yes, a very dominant performance from Makaev, but as you say, credit to Glenn Mcveigh coming in.
3 days notice as well against the consensus best amateur on the planet. You got to give him some credit for that.
And if anything, I believe he's enhanced his reputation.
Absolutely. I mean, those who did not know Glenn Mcveigh before certainly do now. He managed to stick it out with one of the best amateur fighters on the planet in his pro debut. Color me impressed from both fighters.
Come on, Mo. Yeah, come on, guys. Keep the respect. It's all done.
Blood, sweat, and tears, ladies and gentlemen. After 3 rounds of non-stop action, we consult the judges' scorecards. I can tell you it is a unanimous decision. He was undefeated as an amateur and undefeated as a pro, Mohamed Makaev!
And there we have it. Will we see a shake of hands afterwards?
You're done. You're all done. Okay, guys. Don't touch it.
There you see both guys. Still seems to be a little bit of something there, but credit to Dean Garnett getting in, giving the plaudits to Glenn Mcveigh, acting as peacemaker. Gentlemen, that should be it, done and dusted. You've shared 15 minutes of hard-fought action. Be very difficult not to have respect for one another in a situation like this.
Yeah, you've got to respect the talent of both guys. Mcveigh coming in here on 3 days' notice and did a sizable measured job anyway.
Yeah, you see some of the action from the very first round.
And I mean, Mcveigh, he had his moments, you know, catching the kick, getting a little bit close, and landing in top position in the third round as well, but it's just hard when you've got an opponent as skilled as Mohamed Makaev in front of you. And let's hear what he has to say. Just getting set up here. Here's some more of the highlights. There's that scramble from Mcveigh. He did a strong job. And there's definitely still some tension going on here in the room. Mcveigh has left over, and there's some of that vicious ground and pound from Mohamed Mokaev. Living up to the hype, does Mohamed Mokaev.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, victorious Mohamed Mokaev. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Did the fight play out as you expected?
Yes, of course. This guy did make weight, about 3-4 kilogram over. He came, big. Like, he fight bantamweight. He fight, featherweight. I don't care. I came here at 6. This is my 7th opponent for 12 days. I take anybody, at this stage.
Were you surprised at the fact that Glenn Mcveigh was able to stay in and hang in there when you put him in some very difficult positions?
Yes, he's like stalling fight, holding gloves, and of course he can't do much. I smash him. He don't want my elbows.
Talk to me a little bit about your mindset during fight week. As you've said, a number of opponents signed on the dotted line, then pulled out. How frustrating was that for you, trying to make a statement here in your professional debut?
This happened before I go to IMF. Always opponent pulled out since when I entered to IMF. There's like 4 or 5 fights in 5 days. Make championship weight every day, and I got used to this atmosphere. So I can fight tomorrow. After tomorrow, make a championship weight again.
Was it difficult for you, obviously coming in as perhaps the most well-respected amateur to do the game, 23-0, a multiple-time IMAF champion, then having to start essentially at the bottom again as a new professional? Was that difficult for you?
It's 5 minutes rounds. I never fight like this, but you have to get used to this big cage, big event, Brave, one of the biggest organization in the world. How many, about 18 tournaments in Europe they're doing this year. What other shows doing this?
As I say, Mohamed, an incredibly dominant performance from yourself. What do you do next? Do you want to get in as quick as possible? Do you want to take a little bit of time? What's next for the Punisher?
Please, 4th September, Brave, Poland. I'm ready to go. If you need a replacement next week, I stay, I fight, I train every day. I don't have camp. I don't get fight, I fight anybody anytime.
Final question, Mohamed, before I let you go. Is the beef now squashed?
Hey, beef squash, I respect this guy, but, if you're confident in yourself, you don't need to talk shit, If you're coming, you're ready, prepare, you don't need to talk. Fingers, if you can't put finger online, please, I'm in hotel downstairs. I was waiting for this guy from breakfast, I don't see this guy. When I see Mozart, he gone back to hotel. If you can't do real person in your life, don't do on Twitter. But if you do on Twitter and don't do it in real life, you strong-minded guy.
Well, one more time, Mohamed, congratulations.
I want to
Go
thank,
ahead, sir.
I want to thank Brave for this opportunity. I want to thank Sheikh Khalid, my brother. He supported me over like 5 years. Thank IMF for giving me this platform, and I want to thank Twins, RW Sports, and everyone back in UK and Dagestan.
Well, once again, sir, congratulations on a dominant debut as a professional. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Woo! Up next, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our co-main event. Allow me to introduce, first of all, to the blue corner, Erman Smagic.
My name is Irma Smajic. I'm 37 years old. I'm coming from Sweden. My record is 2-0 as a pro. I'm a world champion, double world champion as an amateur. And I'm representing 2 clubs, honestly. I'm coming from Linköping, Kampsportscentret, and All Stars here in Sweden. I had maybe 5-6 good weeks with Alexander Gustafsson and Kamzat before their fight. So that's why I decided I can take a fight afterwards. So I just extended a little bit and took my own fight. So I'm here now. He's a good guy with a lot of heart. He wants his shot, I want my shot. So it's going to be a good fight. He is a little bit shorter, but I like it's perfect guy for me, I think. Thank you for coming to Sweden, taking the fight, but it's my time now, so let's do this. No injuries for anybody. Good luck.
So we mentioned Fernando Flores being probably the most beloved folkly fighter here in Sweden, but Irman Smajic is probably at a close second. Also a guy who does a lot of good stuff in and outside of a cage. I mean, you cannot knock his credentials. Two-time IMF champion. And outside of a cage, he actually does volunteer work as a dental hygienist. Spends a lot of time in the Philippines helping out there after their natural disasters. Unfortunately, it was forced to return due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Otherwise, he wanted to stay there, continuing helping, giving free dental care. So that really is a testament to the heart that Irman Smajic has.
A big man with big power and an even bigger heart. Training out of All-Stars with an absolute who's who of some of the best in Europe. An Orthodox fighter, 37 years old, only began training in mixed martial arts at the age of 30. I asked him how that came about, and he looked me deadpan in the eye and said, my background is that I got fat, I needed to lose weight, so I wanted to try something a little different, packed my bags, traveled 105 kilometers to try MMA. Sebastian, it turned out okay for him.
Yeah, you gotta say that, and I think we are all glad that you decided to choose MMA and not, I don't know, cross-country skiing or something like that, because we would be denied of a fantastic athlete who's done some very impressive stuff inside the cage. Two fights, 2 wins by a finish.
Up next, allow me to introduce his opponent into the red corner, Fati Aktash.
My name is Fati Aktash. I'm 30 years old. I'm based in Vienna. I'm out of Turkey, and I'm training in the gym 23 in Vienna. My record is 5-3, and my fighting style is Muay Thai. That's it. My training camp was like the other ones, always the same, just another plan for the opponent. And we always train everywhere, on every skill, ground game, stand up, on the walls, on the ground drills. And I feel very good. Thank God I have no injuries this training camp. This is happy for me. And like I say, I'm ready for Saturday. My opponent is a big guy. He's a strong guy also. He's got long reach. I think his boxing skills is good. But we studied him and made a plan for him, and let's surprise him on Saturday. We will make a hard fight together, and we will make a show for the fans, for the Brave families also, and it will be a hard fight, definitely, and the result will be a surprise. Let's show the fans what we got in our fists, Irman, and make a hard fight.
Fati Aktash representing Gym 23 in Vienna, Austria by way of Turkey. 5-3 as a professional. All 5 of his wins coming by way of finish. 4 KOs, 1 submission. Never been to the judges in his professional mixed martial arts career. The definition of a with your sword or on your sword kind of fighter, Seb.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember seeing his fight against Matteo Rossetti in Italy, where basically that was supposed to be Rossetti's time to shine. It was his home field advantage there in Italy. But Fati Aktash, despite taking some hits, kept on coming, turned things around, and then got a knockout victory. So he's definitely an exciting fighter. He's got a lot of power in his hits, and he moves a lot faster than a lot of heavyweights do. I've seen him go for like spinning back kicks and stuff like that, which you don't traditionally see from a lot of heavyweights.
He's only ever been out of the first round once in his professional career, and that was that fight you alluded to against Matteo Rossetti, which he won via second round KO in November of 2019. Has serious striking credentials. He is a former Austrian national Muay Thai champion. So he does have that striking arsenal within his repertoire.
In our co-main event of the evening, Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this heavyweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Sweden, weighing in at 119.6 kilograms with an undefeated pro record of 2 fights and 2 wins, Irman, the People's Champ, Smajic! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, Fighting out of Vienna by way of Turkey, weighing in at 108.4 kilograms with a pro record of 5 wins and 3 losses, Fati Aktash!
Right corner, down.
Here we've got the tail of a tape. Smite 7 years of a senior of Fati Aktash, and taller as well at 2 meters even. A sizable difference in height there.
It also has to be said that Earman has to cut weight to make the 120 kilogram. He was in the sauna on Friday with the smaller guys cutting weight.
Yeah. Just give me a towel.
And it seems like we've got some kind of issue with the glove here of Fati Aktash. Some Vaseline, perhaps, or
referee Dickie Larkin always crosses the T's and dots the I's. That's why he's one of the best in the business. For 2 heavyweight men, you need a heavyweight referee.
Absolutely. There we go. Touch of gloves. And one thing you got to keep an eye out for, it was actually the first thing I wrote in my notes on Irma Smaic in huge capital letters, leg kicks.
Yeah, his leg kick. Look at the size of his legs, man. They're huge. They're like tree trunks. And we've seen him kick people, and he has this propensity to send people spinning 360 degrees with the power of those leg kicks.
Yeah, that's something we saw in his pro debut here in Stockholm against Malik Jamaze.
In case people at home didn't quite see that or didn't feel that, when they pushed up against the cage, the entire cage wall moved.
I was actually looking down when it happened, but I felt the vibrations into the table and onto the seat that I'm sitting in right now.
Nice knees and the clinch there from Earman. Huge grip. I'd like to see him fight for the underhook on that that right side of his. He has one on his left side. And have a little bit more control. Obviously an incredibly powerful guy.
And traditionally, Smaic, a very capable finisher. I mean, he's, as a pro, he's never been to a decision as well. And as an amateur, he's got, I believe, 6 round 1 finishes under 1 minute.
Very dangerous guy. And as you say, it's a real sort of Jekyll and Hyde character, is Irman Smaic. A very funny guy, very likable guy, but once he gets in there, it's all about the bad intentions.
And there have been some suggestions for as well to add something about his dental hygienist occupation into his nickname, but nothing that's really stuck yet. So far, the People's Champ definitely is the right nickname.
Yeah, nobody was really biting on jokes about the dental hygienist, were they?
I don't think so.
But as you say, the People's Champ, a fitting moniker for the big man, beloved here, not just Stockholm, but in the entirety of Sweden.
Absolutely.
He's very intelligent, the game plan he's adopting right now. He's just forcing Fati Aktash to carry his weight, and now scores the takedown.
And smartly done. I mean, when you have an opponent who is as credentialed in striking as Fati Aktash is, I mean, why give him that advantage? You might as well take him down to where you're super strong.
Yeah, completely nullifying the main weapons of the former Austrian national Muay Thai champion, and now just forcing him to carry his 120 kilogram frame.
I do not envy Aktash doing so. He is on a guillotine with one arm, but it's nothing really that he's going to get from that position.
If Earman chooses to transition into side control, there's potential there for a Von Flue choke, seldom seen in mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Or the Von Prue choke, depending on how quick you came to MMA.
Depending on who is in the cage, you might see it a lot or not at all.
Again, in that half guard anchor position.
Much more advantageous position for Smaic now, getting out of that guillotine, and Aktash going for heel strikes from the bottom.
Heel strikes from bottom to the calf.
It's probably the first time I've seen that. I think there we got the first bit of decent, like, hard ground and pounder from Smaic.
Smaic thinking about posturing, but again, right now he realizes they have 3 5-minute rounds. He's availing of the time. He's smothering Fati Aktash.
To be fair with Aktash, he does have pretty decent cardio. I mean, like we said, he hasn't been out of the first round much, but when he did, he looked good in the second round.
Incredibly durable fighter, and again, that was veteran savvy covering the mouth by Irman Smaic there.
Let's see if he can get some punches or elbows going here.
Might be trying to... Momentarily looked like he was trying to set up a head-arm triangle. Fati Aktash doing the right thing. He's getting up on the hip. He's trying to turn in towards Earman, but it's very hard to mount any kind of offense against a man mountain. Even his little short pot shots are carrying so much weight and heft.
Yeah, just those shots to the body there, I mean, you can really hear and feel them. Oof.
Clubbing blows from the people's champ.
Do not envy Fati Aktash, who was actually the first fighter from Turkey to fight in Brave.
Just methodical pace. Not to, oh, that's a big crushing shot to the body. You know that hurt because it elicited an immediate reaction from Fati Aktash.
I mean, if you look at Smajic's fists, I mean, it's like canned goods. Like he's just swinging cans of beans at you.
From this position, I'd like to see the People's Champ perhaps throw a couple of people's elbows.
All right, into the first round. Certainly a dominant round for Smajic, but not one where he mounted a whole lot of offense.
I'm going to speak to him now. I'm going to speak to him now.
And Aktash complaining to referee Dickie Larkin about something. I'm not sure what.
I think he may have been intimating there was possibly fingers in the eyes, but I'll be honest, I didn't see a lot of that from our vantage point.
Trying to posture off his face. Your fingers is going into his eyes.
There you see the takedown by Earman. And again, just methodical, constant work. All very intelligent. Doesn't take any unnecessary risks.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken pretty much no damage so far. It's looking pretty good. I mean, he was making Aktash carry his whole weight for most of that first round, which is draining.
Let's go. All right.
Dickie Larkin taking absolutely no nonsense there.
Get out. Let's go.
Yeah. Making sure to hurry people out of a cage, rightly so.
Watch your fingers.
Let's see here, round number 2. So far, Aktash not able to really mount any offense on his side, but obviously he was taken down. Did not manage to get up. Obviously, I'm sure he would like to keep the fight.
Perhaps the game plan of Earman might have been to wear on him heavy in the first round, take a little bit of pep out of his step.
Which would be a very smart plan. Although Aktash looks pretty fresh. Pretty good kicks thrown there.
Some nice leg kicks, as you've alluded to, being thrown. Comes over the top with a big overhand. But then he shakes out the arms, a little bit of a deep breath.
Usually a sign of fatigue there. And obviously, I mean, just look at how big Smajic is. Just carrying his weight for just a little bit has got to be completely exhausting.
Smajic doing well to close the distance. He was doing a really good job, a really solid job of creating his own angles there, just cutting off the cage.
Definitely, and once he gets a hold of you, I mean, you're just in for a bad night.
Takes the back in. This is not where Fati Aktash wants to be for the remaining 4 minutes of this round.
Yeah, this is a bad position with so much time left for Smajic to work.
You can hold the glove.
Earman trying to get a hand free to land some ground and pound.
Let go.
And this is a little bit similar to the position that Smajic finished Malik Jamad in his pro debut. Had him up against the cage and just pounded him out.
He's trying to find gaps, trying to land those shots to get the hand through. But as you say, staying so low, his hips are so close, so heavy to Fati Aktash. He's not giving him any room with which to find a way to get out of this position.
Smajic's corner asking for small shots continuously. Gotta say, I agree. That is good coaching right there. You want to keep your opponent guessing, even if you are in a dominant position. You don't want to let either yourself or your opponent get complacent as such. You want to keep them guessing. You want to have just a little bit of doubt in them.
And you also want to stay proactive if you're in the dominant position.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to risk getting stood up. I mean, especially if you've been working hard to get that position, expending a bunch of energy. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is that you use up so much energy, getting your opponent down, you get complacent there, and get stood up, and all that energy was for nothing. Smajic's corner calling for more ground and pound. And again, hard, heavy shots.
He seems to be happy just to keep this position and land enough shots to keep himself and to keep Fati honest. Trying to get that hand free to land those clubbing shots.
I wonder if perhaps Irman would consider maybe throwing some, maybe not for his position, but before there was an opening for some potential knees to the body. This is a bad position for Fati Aktash.
And you can see the frustration, even just on the face of Aktash. Big man Smash transitions into the mount position. Here we could see some heavy ground and pound. Aktash needs to be careful not to give up the back. Oh, people's elbow from the people's champ.
There we have it. You called for it, and he delivered. Just under 2 minutes left for Smash to work, and that could definitely be enough for a stoppage if he manages to connect with some more of those people's elbows.
And it's going to be difficult as the man on the bottom to try and shift, well, potentially over 120 kilos off you, because he had to cut down to make that 120 limit. Oh, big clubbing shots. It's almost shades of a cat toying with a mouse at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, Smash just looks completely unbothered, very comfortable there in top position, taking his time, landing his shots.
And it's just consistent, methodical work from the big man. Postures up, May looking crash through that guard with big ground and pound.
Another elbow, I think just glancing or missed there.
Less than a minute to go in the second round here. Smythe trying to find that opening.
Smythe's corner saying to go for both the body and the head. So far we've seen mostly elbows to the head. Then I gotta agree, perhaps mixing things up there a little bit would be good.
Little short pot shot elbows and a very dominant round from start to finish for Eamon Smythe. Could you make the argument this is potentially a 10-8 round?
You know what, you probably could. I mean, it perhaps lacks some of the damage for a very apparent 10-8 round, but just based on control and position and dominance, I think you could definitely make that argument.
It'll be interesting to see how our judges interpret that. Should we go to a decision?
I mean, it would be a first for both. Ooh,
just
another hard elbow there.
I think he just glanced with that elbow, not sure it made clean contact.
Aktash looks frustrated, obviously. I mean, he knows he's up 0-2, or that he's behind 0-2 here.
Yeah. And realistically, to get anything out of this fight, he needs to go in and get a finish.
Yeah, he needs to go there and just knock Smythe out. It is easier said than done. I mean,
well, for a start,
again, I mean, Aktash, he does have a lot of power in his shots. Obviously, he's got a ton of finishes there. 4 of his 5 wins by knockout or TKO, so he's got the potential to do it. But I mean, especially when you're worried about the takedown, you're expecting it. It is harder to get fluid if you're striking.
And having been ridden essentially by Airman for those 2 rounds, does he have it in his gas tank? Does he have the cardio to throw a fight-ending knockout punch?
That's a good question. Let's see here. And I wonder also if we're going to see some of those people's leg kicks that I was hyping up a little bit before.
I think this is a new territory for both men in professional mixed martial arts. The 3rd round of a 3-round, 5-minute fight.
Seems like Airman's corner a little bit displeased.
Time.
Telling him to work.
Cut man, scissors please.
To get things going.
Just don't open the door. Don't open the door. Just give me the scissors.
Referee Decky Larkin calling for scissors, potentially an errant piece of material on the glove of one of the fighters here. Yep.
There we have it, yeah.
Little bit of a hand wrap, just coming a little bit loose as they tend to do sometimes during frenetic exchanges.
Yes, coach.
Yeah, Smythe's corner really imploring him to get things going. I mean, he has been dominant, so there's no knock in his game like that. Just perhaps they haven't been able to get as much going as they were hoping for.
There you go, nice show of respect from the boys.
You gotta love that. I mean, he went up, asked, hug.
That was in one breath adorable, but in one breath terrifying. big 6'7", 120 kilo unit walks up to you and says, "Hug."
What are you gonna say? No.
You can see the tentativeness of Fati Aktash trying to go high with the kick, but again, owing to the fact that he's had to carry the weight of Erman Smythe for so long, Has he got enough in the tank to land a home run one-hitter quitter?
Yeah, he's got to be careful. I mean, he cannot get reckless. He cannot get carried away because, I mean, if he does, he's going to leave an opening and he is going to get taken down again. Superman punch there from Fati Aktash, and Smajic feinting a bit of a kick.
The corner of Irman Smajic calling him forward, asking for action. Have him right where he wants him. In his corner, against the cage.
Is he gonna get it?
In on the single leg. Nice work from Aktash to defend at the minute. Both these men may be a little bit tired.
I think so.
Due to the grappling heavy nature of this fight.
Well, I mean, those have been some grueling positions. I mean, they're not necessarily the most explosive, but they do definitely zap your energy right out of you.
No, we say this at nearly every show. A position like this, a 50-50 position, one man has an overhook, one man has an underhook. It doesn't look like anything's going on, but it's one of the most grueling aspects of the sport.
Absolutely, and these guys have had quite a bit of that so far. There we have the takedown.
Takes the ankle, pulls it out from underneath Fati Aktash. And now he's in that anchor position.
See if he can get some proper ground and pound. He's got plenty of time to work, just under 3 minutes. And Smajic's corner telling him to pass to mount.
May just try and wriggle that leg free. But again, he can land ground and pound from this position. I know a lot of fighters feel more comfortable from that half guard position than they do full mount.
Because I mean, at mount, while it is definitely a very advantageous position, you do always have a risk of being flipped over. Whereas if you're in half guard, not necessarily. I mean, you can stay there pretty comfortably. And yeah, I agree. There are definitely fighters who do prefer that position. You can get some solid ground and pound going.
I think the issue sometimes with mount is that if you overcommit to a strike, you take all of your body weight in one direction.
You want to stay on top? You need to work.
Smythe's just showing a new wrinkle in his game at pro, just how dominant he is on top, how much he's able to wear on his opponent, and he's completely nullified and neutralized the biggest weapons of Aktash, that being his striking game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that really is a sign of a very skilled martial artist, that you can take your opponent's skill and just biggest strength and just make him into nothing. I mean, so far I don't feel like Smajic has taken a single strike that's been really significant.
A little bit of back and forth there between Aktash and his corner. I'd love to know what they're saying.
Obviously frustration.
In my head, his corner's telling him to do something, and he's sitting back, well, how?
Yeah.
Look at the situation I'm in. It's not as simple as just get up.
Yeah, I don't think any of his corner men have had this huge, just behemoth of a man on top of them for nearly 3 rounds.
And it's not through lack of trying. You know, Aktash is trying to advance his own position. He's trying to defend. Momentarily, you can see him trying to post on the point of the elbow. Irman has the wrist.
And it looks like this could very well be a first for both gentlemen, as time is ticking away and none of them have been to a decision as a professional. So,
but this is a fantastic learning experience for both men. You know, it shows that at the heavyweights aren't renowned for going the distance, but doing so and being able to impose his game plan and to be as dominant, that's bound to be a real feather in the hat, and growing the confidence of Irman Smajic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just to prove, if no one else than to himself, that he can go 3 full rounds.
I think we may see him up the pace momentarily for the closing stanzas of the third and final rounds. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The big men go the distance, and I'm sure if at the start of this fight, at the start of this show, if you had said this was the fight that was going to go the distance, a lot of people wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did not... The records, the odds, the stats, just everything going against that. But then again, when we had the 2 strikers going against each other, we were joking about a first-round submission, and that's exactly what happened.
Whoa! Who was joking? Who was joking? I think I made a great call.
Yeah, that's true. It was crystal ball filled.
Here we see some of the action in the fight. Just that dominant positional control from Irman Smajic. Surely en route to a unanimous decision victory.
And I mean, it's a style that is just a nightmare to face. I mean, having somebody that big on top of you. I mean, even if you have a really strong grappling game, I mean, sometimes being that big, that strong, that heavy, it can nullify skill as well. Because as we said, Aktash, he was trying. He was really trying his best to get up. It just did not work.
For a co-main event, let's send it up to Lance Murdoch for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our co-main event, an epic clash. After 3 rounds of non-stop action, we consult the judges' scorecards. I can tell you it is a unanimous decision. He remains undefeated. The People's Champ in the blue corner, Irman Smajic!
No surprise there at all. Obviously, unanimous decision. A very unanimous decision, I might add.
As I said midway through the third round, this is only going to be good for both guys. They've shown that they can go the distance. They've shown that they can endure. They've shown that they have the gas tank to do that.
Great show of sportsmanship and respect here from these two athletes as well. And here we go back to some of the action. Here we have, I think, the first takedown. No, this actually came a little bit later. And yeah, just suffocating top control there from Irman Smajic in our co-main event. Using just hard ground and pound. Perhaps not as much volume as I'm sure he would have liked himself as well. There was a punch that almost missed, but had he connected, I'm sure it would have done a lot of damage. As we mentioned, just so much power behind basically everything that Smajic does. And once he got on top, there was just no way that Aktash was getting back up. There we have yet another takedown up against the cage, right in front of Smajic's corner. Could not have a better position to get into dominant control there. 3-0 as a professional and with some fantastic amateur credentials. Here we have Irman Smajic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the People's Champ, Irman Smajic. Irman, how are you feeling after 3 grueling rounds of professional mixed martial arts action?
I feel good, honestly. We talked about to try something new, and maybe lately, maybe 6-8 weeks, I work with Alex, Kamzat, Anton, and other guys, and takedowns and holding people down. So we want to go for 3 rounds. He's a good guy. We know he wanted to fight. I didn't think I need to give him a brawl because, like Andrea said, don't make it complicated. Smash people and get paid, or get honor at least.
Now, it was a great game plan implemented by yourself. Was the plan to...
No, it was not by myself. It was like by Andreas and Kamzat.
By the team. Was the game plan to nullify his most dangerous weapons? Obviously, he's a very good kickboxer. So was the plan to go in there and shut him down from the beginning?
Yeah, of course. Let's do that he's worst at. Wrestle him down and kick his ass there. Sorry, but honestly, that's how game plan is. It's don't make it complicated shit. It's sorry for the word. I had I think 20 amateur fights. I went 4 fights in 5 days in heavyweight. So just follow the plan. Don't complicate the peep. So go in, smash like Hamza say, and go from there. Now it's 3-0. So let's see what next opponent has to give.
You've mentioned some of the great guys you train with, Alexander Gustafsson, Hamzat Chimaev. Just how important is it for you having a team of that quality to rely on and to train with?
It's easy as this. When you're best at your club, find another club. That's it. Find people who are better than you. Train with them. Get your ass kicked, get mad, try to kick ass back.
That's the way it is. And I have the best guys in the world. You have seen the guy smash I get paid. Kamzat, Alex, Ilya. That's a fucking, sorry for the word again, Pete. That's like, he's lifting everybody up. So just to get in there every time, have my own coach just still kicks my ass after 5 years you won. Can be better. Just love it.
And last question before I let you go. What's next for you? Do you want to get in quickly? Do you want to get a little bit of time to assess, work on maybe adding more skills to your game? What would you like to do next, sir?
Create the heavyweight division in Brave and be champion there. I had heard people are paying for that, so let's create the heavyweight, one more heavyweight guy, and let me have a shot. And not smash, maybe not smash him down, but I kick his ass slowly. I don't know. It just only comes out it's smashing people down.
There we have it. Still undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, sir. One more time for the People's Champ.
For Tistus.
Eamon Smythe.
Selma, thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations,
Shukran.
sir.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our main event of the evening. Allow me to introduce, first of all, to the blue corner, Louis Glisman.
My name is Louis Glisman. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark. My preparation for this fight has been good. At first it was a bit difficult because Denmark was on a complete lockdown with the corona situation. But the last months we've been able to train in the gym and I've been staying in shape all the time. So I'm feeling good and prepared for the fight. I think my opponent, he's also a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. I'm also a Jiu-Jitsu fighter. He's a long, tall guy. So I think it's a perfect matchup. We are the same age and fought almost the same amount of fights. So I'm looking forward to a good and tough fight. I predict I'm gonna win, maybe in the second or the third round. Henry Lintula, let's make a tough fight. Let's show the fans that the main event is what it's all about.
Oh no, he didn't. He is not walking out the sandstorm. Outstanding by Louis Spartacus Glisman, 29 years old, southpaw, coming out from that tricky stance, 5'11". As a professional, he is 6-1. 5 wins coming by way of stoppage. Currently riding a 6-fight win streak. Never been finished in his professional career. 4 wins by submission, 1 via armbar, 1 via knee bar, 2 via rear naked choke. As he said in the VT there, he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, incredibly well versed in the ground, a pressure heavy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style, constantly hunting for the submission, technically very, very sound, Seb.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you do not know Louis Glisman, man, you are in a disservice because he has quietly been working his way to becoming one of the most standout prospects of Scandinavia right now. He trains at Alt Suave in Copenhagen under Nikolai Kupti alongside the likes of Damir Hadzovic, Matt Burnell, Pani Kanzat, so he's got a fantastic team behind him as well.
And next, allow me to introduce his opponent into the red corner, Henry Lintula.
My name is Henry Lintula. I'm 29 years old and I'm 5'0" right now. And I'm fighting out of Kerava, Finland, in my gym, Sisu Gym, Järvenpää. We had 4 weeks to get ready for this one, so just get some sparring rounds in and I was good to go. Luckily I was in pretty good shape before we even got the fight, so I was ready to take it and step up. He's the toughest one so far, and I think that's the way it should be. Like, they just keep getting tougher and tougher, and he's a good test and a great grappler, so it's gonna be an interesting fight. We met today already, so I think we've said what we're gonna say, and we'll see on the Saturday night.
There you have it, living up to the Finnish way of being a person of few words, but Henry Lintula certainly talks inside the cage through actions, though. This guy is a finisher. All 5 wins via finish, 4 via submission, 3 involves in the first round. This guy usually does not let his opponents off easily.
Yeah, a legitimate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. in his own right. 4 wins by way of submission, 1 triangle, 3 rear naked chokes. Very, very technically sound. Takes the back with ruthless efficiency. Almost uses the mount as a setup to take the back and then take the rear naked choke. Both these men, it must be said, are so technically sound when it comes to their grappling, when it comes to their submission fighting, that if it gets to the ground, we could see perhaps a real chess match. But as you said earlier, their jiu-jitsu might cancel one another out and we could see them standing and banging.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this welterweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Copenhagen, Denmark, weighing in at 79.4 kilograms with a pro record of 6 wins and 1 loss, Louis Spartacus Glisman! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner. Fighting out of Finland, weighing in at 79.5 kilograms with an undefeated pro record of 5 fights and 5 wins, Henry Lintula! Our referee in charge of the action, Mr. Kevin Sataki.
Gentlemen, we talked about the rules. Protect yourself at all time. Listen to my word of commands at all time. When I tell you to stop, you stop. Touch gloves. Let's dance.
Veteran Kevin Sataki charged with refereeing this, our main event here at Brave 37 from Stockholm, Sweden, and it is a clash of Nordic BJJ black belts. I cannot wait.
And as we kind of alluded to, both these men seem to have been on a similar career path, a similar trajectory. It was almost inevitable that they would meet in one of the world's biggest mixed martial arts promotion, the only truly global mixed martial arts promotion, Brave Combat Federation.
And there's a very noticeable height difference there. Henry Lintula, 193 centimeters tall. Obviously, he'll want to use that to his advantage. I mean, obviously, he is a grappler, but he is an MMA fighter as well, so we know he's been polishing up his skills.
Yeah, both these men do have wins due to strikes on their professional ledger, so they can get it done. Nice stiff jab from Spartacus. Tries to come over the top, and he's doing the right thing as the shorter fighter. He's changing his levels, trying to come over the top, trying to bring the attention of the taller man down.
Absolutely, and he's got to be full of confidence as well. I mean, he's coming off of 6 straight wins, and most recently off of his biggest win to date over British veteran Craig White. Finished him with in the first round with a submission. Huge feather in his cap. Nice left hand lands there.
Another big shot over the top from Glisman.
Oh! He just leapt into that leg kick, and look at the redness on Lintula's lead leg already.
Oh, he's chewing up that leg again.
It's paying dividends.
Intelligent foresight by the big Dane.
That was one of the most aggressive leg kicks I've seen.
You can see you can almost hear a pin drop here because there's that level of anticipation with both guys this high level. Anything can happen in an instant, and the people that are around the cage can feel that. And that leg kick again.
Twice now.
He smiles as if to say, yeah, I caught you with that.
And it is going to add up. As mentioned before, I got Danish veteran Nikolai Kupti as head coach at Otswav, and in the corner of Louis Glisman. Real veteran.
Oh, done well to close the distance. The shorter man lands the looping shots to get in. Nice defensive wrestling here from Lintula. I'll be honest, I want to see these guys on the ground.
Oh, yeah. So when I say that Coach Kupti is a real veteran, how much of a veteran? Well, how about dating back to the days of bare-knuckle shoot fighting?
Wow. You see, Lintula has also been working diligently on a stand-up. Previously spent time at AKA. Previously spent time in Auckland, New Zealand at City Kickboxing under Eugene Berman. So really getting some training in with some of the elite guys in the world.
Responds with a nice leg kick of his own. And Glisman is leaping forward with those strikes.
And he's only ever a whisker away with that big overhand.
Yeah. I mean, he's missed now with it a couple times, but he has landed with a follow-up leg kick, which is definitely going to do him some good. Let's see if he can get this.
Trying to connect the hands underneath the backside of Lintula. Lintula doing a good job of defending, gets that underhook, raises the level of Glisman.
There we have the first takedown with Glisman on top. I remember seeing Glisman for the first time in, I believe it was his second amateur fight in my home city of Malmo in 2015. Realized already then when he bulldozed Daniel Bergström that he would probably be a prospect worth keeping your eye on.
He's trying to transition. I think, can't quite see from this position. I believe he's in the half guard position.
Yeah.
And he's just solidifying position, just trying to snake that leg through, perhaps into side control. Again, just showing the patience of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
And there would definitely be something to say, like grappling, bragging rights here for these two BJJ black belts.
Solid work from Lintula to get his guard back. Let's see just how dangerous his guard is. Known more so for his mixed martial arts grappling with regards to taking the back, as 3 of his submissions have come by rear naked choke. Big shot from Glisman.
2 hard shots there connected. And another one.
Needs to be wary of his head position here. He needs to stay all the way down or all the way up. He can't be in that almost no man's land area where he's susceptible to submissions.
I mean, you gotta be careful. You cannot give a BJJ black belt a single advantage on the ground. Will get exploited. So far, I'd say Glisman doing very well. I mean, obviously in top position now to finish off a round, and before that landing some thunderous kicks.
You can see momentarily Lintula tried to create the angle coming out at 90 degrees. A real interesting stalemate. We've seen them. That leg kick from Glisman was... I don't even know how you would... It wasn't technically by the book, but it sure was effective.
It reminded me of something you'd see out of football, honestly.
Big looping shots over the top, and I can see the game plan. Like, he's leaving that leg in. That's a disdainful sort of leg kick, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's frustrating, though, like when you're just out of reach of your opponent. I mean, it's an extremely frustrating thing.
So what would you be saying if you're in the corner of Glisman? Are you telling him more of the same, or are you telling him to mix things up?
I mean, so far, I'd say more of a... so far what he's doing, I feel, is working. I mean, in the stand-up, it is reasonably one-sided with Glisman landing most of the powerful strikes. And as he has shown now with his wrestling and his takedowns, did a very good job on top also, although perhaps leaving himself a little bit open. Did land some very solid ground and pound as well. So I'd say probably just refine some of the things you're doing. Maybe add a little bit of variety, but it's hard to do when you can't really reach your opponent and he's constantly a step away.
Henry Lintula trying to open up with a double jab, and again, Glisman absolutely winging those shots.
Just got to be careful not to burn himself out. Because when you're looking desperately for the knockout shot, it's always the ones that you don't really expect to put the lights out.
That's a great point, Seb. And just as Glisman came in with that overhand, Lintula had a knee landed that was just inches away from landing. But now Lintula with the pressure. Again, both men exchanging positions.
And that would be a smart thing for Lintula to do, to use those knees defensively, because he is being backed up a lot of the time. And when you are facing a shorter fighter, I mean, knees are just money.
That's a huge takedown. You may be seeing the start of a head-arm triangle being set up. Tries to transition to the other side, but wise to it. Oh, potential back take here from Glisman.
Just one hook in, though.
Cranking on that neck. Has the second hook in. Is he a little bit too high, perhaps? But no, takes the back.
Oh, nicely done. Rear naked choke connected, but can he get it?
Does have 2 wins on his ledger by rear naked choke. Oh, that looks like it's in. Can he connect the hands? Bicep grip. This looks tight. Beautiful defense from Lintula, still in it, but oh, this looks tight. Will he be forced to top? There's the top. It's over.
That is it. Second round submission for Louis Glisman. Taps out the BJJ black belt.
Louis Glisman wins the battle of 2 of the most prominent fighters in the welterweight division in this part of Europe, in the entirety of Europe. This is a massive feather in his cap.
Huge statement here, and I think welterweights will be keeping a lookout now. I mean, if you didn't know Louis Glisman, we certainly do now. Huge statement here in the main event of Brave's debut in Scandinavia. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to go to the ground with Glisman after this.
No, that was devastating. Just showing how dominant he is. That's his 5th win by way of submission. His 3rd rear naked choke. Such a dangerous, dangerous ground specialist.
Very impressive. And we can't forget how well he was doing in the stand-up as well. I mean, those were fantastic leg kicks. And I think he connected with perhaps just 1 or 2 of those right hands, but they were doing damage. So, I mean, he's dangerous everywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our main event here at Brave Combat Federation 37, our referee stopped the action after 1 minute and 30 seconds of the 2nd round. And the winner, by way of rear naked choke, Louis Glisman! Ladies and gentlemen, our European invasion continues next week in Stockholm on August the 8th. Please stay tuned after the interviews for the after show wrap-up. We'll see you then.
There you have it. What a win for the Dane Louis Glisman. Very, very impressive stuff. High-level jiu-jitsu there. I mean, honestly, he did everything very well. When he did get the takedown, he got it. He got right into a fantastic position, and even the ground and pound that he was landing the first round over, there wasn't a whole lot. The shots that he connected with were definitely doing damage.
Yeah, again, let's get back to that leg kick. That leg kick was like he put his entire body through that leg kick. And it's his...
And if we're going to talk fight of the night and things like that, can we talk leg kick of the night? Because, I mean, there's just no question there. Although, if we're going to do overall kick of the night, he's definitely got some competition with Bianca Ant-Man.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. That's just a real celebration of European mixed martial arts tonight.
Absolutely. And here we have the finish once again. It looked so tight. And then there, when he connected, yeah, Lintula had no choice but to tap. And Glisman really just catapulting to the top of the...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner via rear naked choke in the 2nd round, Louis Glisman. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks a lot.
How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. This is what you train for every day, exactly this feeling. After the fight, getting victorious, that's what we're chasing.
Now, talk me through a little bit of the game plan going into this fight. You seem to flourish in the stand-up, coming from that southpaw stance, landing big hooks, and then we're looking for the takedown. Was that all part of the plan?
It was actually. The plan was to the first round feel around in southpaw, be at the distance, trying to get my jab and the inside leg kick working, and then after certain time of period, I wanted to pressure the fight, go into orthodox and make him move backwards. And I know when I put the pressure on, that's where I'm strong, right? So that was the game plan.
Like going into this fight, a real exciting part of the fight for me was the fact that you were both decorated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. You both had 4 wins by submission. You both had wins by rear naked choke. Was there a little bit of you wanting to go in there and show just how dominant your jiu-jitsu was?
Of course, man. Of course, because a black belt beating another black belt, that's different, you know. That was a lot of pride in my own beliefs. Like, I want to show that we have the best jiu-jitsu, right? So it was fantastic to get the rear naked choke, man. I mean, that's a big honor for our gym to show that our jiu-jitsu is top knowledge.
And speaking of your gym, how difficult has it been for you preparing as a mixed martial artist through the COVID situation?
I mean, it was a bit difficult to begin with because the gym was completely closed. You know, the whole of Denmark was on complete lockdown. But I managed to have actually almost 2 months of good training in the club. So I did we could only train once a day, but I did some good physical training in the morning with my friends, and then we did MMA in the afternoon. It was perfect.
Now, the eyes of the mixed martial arts world are on you right now. With a dominant performance like that, there'll be a lot of people tuning into you. Do you have a message for the rest of the guys in the welterweight division in Brave Combat Federation?
Look at the fight, man. Look at my record. I'm here to get the belt, you know. I want to be a champ and inspire the next generation. So I'm here for the I'm here for the belt, man.
There you have it. Calling out the entire welterweight division. Keep an eye on this young man. Now 7-1 as a professional mixed martial artist. Louis Glisman, congratulations, sir.
Thank you, man. Thanks. And thanks a lot to Brave organization. It have been wonderful.
Enjoy the win, sir.
Thanks.